All right, it is time. It is Monday evening, the start of a 10 table marathon session for the American Ricci Mahjong League. Through all of the divisions, A1 through C1 games are being played. It'll be happening all evening long. We're opening up the evening with a B3 matchup between Nathan, Eric, Ricky, and Dave. Currently, Eric in the East seat is in 5th place overall in guaranteed promotion spot currently with 4 games to play, as are the rest of these players, finishing their final session of action. 104.5 for Eric, opening up with the Hatsupon, aiming for a fast dealer repeat. On the right, Ricky in 6th position overall, 95.2 points. A little bit more of a tenuous hold in this spot, but 4 games to advance, a little bit higher in the standings. Across the table, Nathan has been doing quite well this season. A perfect season of 0 4th places. Good, very good 10 ho, 6, 4, 10, and 0. 167.3 for Nathan. And on the left, Dave, outside of the guaranteed promotion range, however, looking in the positives so far and hoping to climb up to 8th or 9th position to maybe get a bonus promotion slot if that will exist this season. At the very least, wants to stay positive. We've already taken a look at Eric's hand, which might be advancing to Hatsudora 2 on the right. Ricky looking for a Rigi here. There's an easy chance in the Pinzu, of course, using a Dora. Maybe a small 789 Sancho chance. We'll see which one ends up coming to fruition. This 123 Chi sort of indicates that Ricky's looking towards the Itsu, but still hedging everything. If a 7 Mon or 7 So comes out, might give up the 5-6 pin and just go for the Sancho instead. Both hands worth the same value, and you can't combine the two together, so we'll end up going for the Sancho play. And if he holds this Ishan 10 for long enough, you might be able to find a pair of a terminal or an honor tile and add Chanta as well. Across the way, Nathan's advanced nicely into Ishantem. Can improve off of this 4-6 pin shape to a Diamond or otherwise, but Diamond will certainly work here. Diamond, Ishanten. And now for Dave. 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku in the works. Ishanten, Dian Chanten for him. One of the problems for all the players here is they'd all like a 7 pin. Nathan got theirs. Ricky's still looking. Eric's still looking. Dave's got one. One is the door indicator, so only one in the wall to share between 2 players. And Eric is tempted for it. Will be Hatsu Dora 1. $2,900.
Reach.
And Nathan finds the template, slams Ricci. 5-8 pin is the weight. There are 4 tiles left in the wall. 2 5 pins, 2 of the Dora 8 pins. Dave is going to reconsider dropping these upper pin tiles. Ooh, a Dora immediately for Eric. He's going to swap off of this weight. Goes with the 9 pin. Not really that much safer than the 8, but it will be Ipatsumo on the Dora itself. Ricci Patsumo Dora's Mangan no Ura, so confirmed. 8,000 points for Nathan. Eric will eat the Oyakaburi and will move to Ricky's dealership. Nice little high pie here, aiming for a Pinshu. Decent shapes already, but good floating tiles. If you draw a connector to this 2 Mon, you could think about 2 4 Sancho, but instead just holds the attachment to the 6 pin. On the right, looks like that hand also wants to move in the direction of Pinshu. Another hand that could turn to Sancho with a lower pin draw. But looks like you have all the blocks you need for Pinshu, so we'll aim straight for that. Dave across the way has a lot of terminal tiles and a pair of the North Winds. Could be a Chanta play. Could also, yep, it's going to be a Chanta force at this point. And on the left, Eric. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3. So is very nice. No Dora. And Ipeco in the lower Manzu is definitely possible. So maybe Ricci Pinfu Ipeco is the plan for Eric. Speaking of the Dora, there is just the one in Dave's hand, the Hatsu, just by itself. And of course, Dave has a lot of work to get to Tenpai, so there's a decent amount of time that he'll have to draw it, as well as potential to talk on that in the future. Ricky's hand keeps looking better and better every time I revisit it. A little awkward now that, I don't know, it's just fine. It's just sad that we can't use this 4, 5, 5, 6, 6 pin shape as Nipeko in its current form. You can cut the 3 pin and have a headless Ishanten. It throws it back and decides to confirm the 6 pins as the pair. Even the headless Ishanten is still really wide, and unless you draw the 4-7 mon, you're still looking at a pretty nice looking Tenpai, regardless of what you draw in the future. If you draw, let's say, 1-4, so you can have a Dogetatsu in the Monzu. Dave will progress one step further, aiming for Chanta Sanchoku, but will have to drop the Dora at this rate, unless, of course, it gets paired up, in which case we'll see the very funny 1 mon, 1 mon, 1 mon, 1 mon discard pond. And yeah, Hatsu comes out from the dealer, immediately followed by Dave. He did not want to hold that in his hand any longer. Ishanten still for Ichihime. It is Richi Pinfu. Ishanten for Eric. Everyone's been playing this game nice and efficiently. Eric will get there first. 4-7 mon for Richi Pinfu Tanyao. 4 tiles on the wall. Will we see another Ippatsumo on the 4 tile weight? Not this time. Similarly to the last hand, 2 4s, 2 7s. Here's a 4. That's not what Dave wanted to see, but Dave has decided to just move away from this hand. Not enough value to fight a dealer Ricci. There are chances for Dave to find K10 later. For the time being, we'll just play quite defensively. Has plenty of upper so tiles to defend with, despite the 2 calls. Let's cut south, gets jammed and passes. Oh, that's Tenpai for Eric. Takes Ippeko, only waiting on 5 so, 6 so. Neither tile of those tiles conferred safe, and the only 2 remaining held by Nathan. Now, Eric can draw some Chitoi tiles. I guess those are quite limited. We'll be able to maintain the Tenpai going into Ryukyoku. And it will be 1500 for Ricky and Eric. Staying here in East 2. Another pretty decent high pie. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs. And there's Tanyao shifts. There's door acceptance. It'll be really interesting to see how Ricky plays this. Like right now, the 5 pin kind of not doing as much, except acting as a floating tile. And Ricky says, you know what? I agree. I think it's Tanyao. Goes with a pay cut. He gives up on Chitoi, but do you really want Chitoi? Well, maybe he did. As that Sanzo gets paired up. It's okay. Tanyao Chitoi's better, right? On the right? Oh, there's a door. That's a great for Ricky. But on the right, Nathan's got a lot of Mon tiles. Ooh, and there's another one. Now we're seriously considering Chinitsu here. It's just, what, 4 Shanten? 3 Shanten now? Across the table. Itsu possible in the Monzu, but with Nathan holding so many of those, kind of expect Dave's going to draw something other than Monzu. And speaking of Monzu, there's a 1 mon. Just looking around the board, Chuden is not live. The 9 mon is held. I guess if Nathan draws the final 9 mon, it gets discarded by Dave. Could happen, but that's a bit of a long shot. We'll see Ricky find Tenpai instead. Very speedy, and as Nathan continues to draw well, this 8 pin will eventually come out. Maybe not on this turn, because the 8 pin looks safer for the future. So we'll Sakigiri the 4 pin, but very soon we'll be dealing that out. However, might be dealing it out. He's going to get out soon, because there's double run potential if Eric gets Tenpai just like this. And now it's going to be a really nasty Honitsu Ton Itsu from Mangan, as well as Tanyao Dora. Wow, that is significantly unexpected. And that was Tempai. Oh, I didn't get the other screen, but yeah, just the 2900 plus for Ricky, because Eric got all the sticks. And just like that, Nathan now falls to fourth, although it's a tightly contested one. And it's Eric who's looking strong. Ricky, of course, maintains the dealership. Looking at potential Ipeco in the upper bonds who can accept a Dora. Okay, floating tiles. On the right, 2, 3, 4, Sancho is possible. Be a nice way to come back into this. Tanyao shifts available as well. And for Dave across the table, just looks like a very standard closed hand. Maybe Itsu. Just work your way towards a Richu. Hope to draw around the Dora. For Eric, we've got a Pei pair, a Sha pair, and a lot of Mon tiles, so this could easily shift its way into Honitsu. Pon in your Tempai on the Haku. Nathan has drawn really well so far, already pulling in the 2, 3, 4 shapes on the right, and just 1/7 mon away from being Tempai. Oh, this is Tempai, but it's not really the Tempai you want. It'd be Richi Tanya Dora. Nathan will not accept this immediately. Well, we'll take the Tempai, but not the Richi. There are 2 7-mon in the wall. Ideal draw would be another 2-pin or 5-pin here to confirm the Sanchoku. This 4 not super helpful, so we'll just continue to play on. Oh, and that's a big draw for Ricky. That fills the Ipeco shape. Ishanten with 2 diamond shapes. Notably, if Ricky draws the 6-mon, he can just use that instead of Ipeco. And there it is, the Pon waiting on the Haku. Just came out, though, so only 1 left in the wall. Of course, Eric has ample opportunity to swap to a different weight. Any Mon draw will be Tempai, and will likely be a better Tempai than the one he currently has. Oh, but this is Tempai for Dave, thinking about whether to take Dora Tanki or not. Does, but not declaring Richi. And here it is, the switch to 3-sided 258 for Honitsu Yakuhai Dora. It's another Honitsu Mangan for Eric, if he can pull together. Something like 4 tiles left, perhaps? 3 tiles? It's going to be a little bit tricky. Oh, but there is the 2-mon. Most likely culprit, and it's going to be Atsumo knocking Eric below 30,000 with the Oyakaburi, and Eric's are knocking Ricky down. So Eric's Honitsu game too strong. We shift to Nathan's first shot at the dealer seat. High pie, not too bad. Nathan's had reasonably standard high pie over the course of this game. A couple conchons in this hand, though, could shift to a Tanyao, dropping the 9 so. On the right, 1, 2. Okay, I'm not going to dream too hard about 1, 2, 3. We're just going to play pretty standard efficiency, hope to draw a Dora, and see what comes our way. Across the way, Eric can now just open up for the Hatsu, and that 7-pin is an amazing fill. It's the Dora, first of all, and also fixes a penchant. You don't want to end up on that tile as your final weight. And with that draw, Eric's looking good. Oh, doesn't want... Oh, discarded the 8 so prior. I think it's still fine to cut the 1-2 penchant because you need a pair anyway after the Hatsu. It gives you some time to find it. And you can still, you know, redraw the diamond shape. Or even call. depending on how things go. But holding the penchant is okay too, because again, that could just be the pair in the hand. It's most likely to be the pair. On the left, Ricky does want a door here. Hand shapes are a little bit awkward. There's a nice Diamond. You have a 3 of these 5-6 shapes, one in each suit. Nathan is Ishantan now for Tanyao, maybe Ipeko. Interesting question will be, does Nathan open up at any point? Could call this for Tempai, and does. Says, the value doesn't concern me too much. My draws are a little bit thin, although looks like he would have drawn the 3-pin. And we'll wait for the 3-pin to be discarded. Looks like that might be acting as the pair in Dave's hand, though. That means there are only 2 tiles on the wall for this wait for 1500. When you're sitting in this position of just waiting for the winning tile, of course, you have to ask yourself, what are my upgrades? If I draw the 5-pin, I'll just cut the 2-pin, take the diamond. If I draw 4 so, do I switch to a Tonki? If I draw the 8-pin, do I con? All these questions that Nathan is undoubtedly thinking about as the tiles go by. Eric ends up moving to a Tonki of his own, waiting on the 4-pin, of course. That can easily switch to another tile. Probably a little bit concerned that the 4-pin deals into Nathan here, given that Nathan's pawn really indicates a pin weight. Certainly not upper Sozu or really anything in the Manzu. Uh-oh, here's a 4-pin. I don't think Nathan wants to switch off this weight. Oh, wait, the 2-pin just came out, so might do that in the name of safety, and does indeed avoid the deal. And nice dodge. Con! Well, Eric is not going to shy away from that. Now he might actually get in a little bit of trouble if he finds a good Tonki, or if he draws a good Tonki like a Haku, or if he draws the door itself. What is worse, the 5 or the 4? The 2 just came out. The 8s are mostly gone. And Eric says, you know what, I don't need to put myself in any danger. Let me just get out of Tempai here. The 7 door is a little bit nasty, but he really wants to maintain his dealership. But they want to hold on. No, giving it up. There still are 2 draws. I guess 3 draws with which to find Tempai again. But 2 players at this table, it's no surprise that they are up at the top of their division, being very cautious about what tiles they're willing to push. Another player necessarily giving up on the hand, they still have routes to Tempai. This is Tempai again. If you dare push the 7, and Nathan's already decided that that's a no-go. So we'll look to Eric. That could be called, dropping the 8 mon. And we'll be done. So Eric finds a way back into Tempai. One more try. Now, if you feel like pushing the 4, that's Tempai. And Nathan says, I won't drop the door up. I'll drop to a Suji. At least that will deal into less. And it doesn't deal in at all. So 2 players, again, the 2 players who were first Tempai, backed away from Tempai, pulled themselves in for Ryukoku. And just the ability to sneak out these extra 1,000 points, 1,500, really valuable. And in this case, not only does it give Nathan the points, but also maintains the dealership. So well played by both Nathan and Eric there. Nathan is rewarded with a fast-looking high pine, not necessarily a valuable one, unless they can manage to draw the necessary tiles for Ricci before opening up on the Haku. On the right, there are 2 completed shapes in the Sozu and just nothing else in hand. Dave is hedging, Sanchoku, but mostly Honitsu here, I think. I think that 7 so will sort of guide him in the direction of Honitsu. Across the table, Eric with okay shapes. Technically, it is, what, 2 away from Tempai, but Kanchan is not ideal. So we'll move in the direction of Tanyao instead. A nice shift there. Can't accept a door, of course. And the left door in hand for Ricky. Can't also call the Hatsu come out from Dave's hand. Dave has ended up confirming a Sanchoku here. Going for that 1-2-3 after all. Comes out. Nathan will fight. Tempai now on the 5-so. 2 left in the wall. Of course, looking for some type of improvement here. Ideally, in the door itself, because that gives you a chance at 2-4 Sanchoku. And I think, yeah, Eric wants to... Oh, went with a 5-6-7. That's an interesting way to do it. It loses a block, but gives yourself 2 floating tiles for a Diamond pull-in. So, and here it is. Here's the Diamond. I wonder if that was intentional. Because if you cheat 4, 5, 6, you have 2 pairs. 7 bond, 3 pin. Not really super ideal. So it could have been intentional. Ricky, though, will open up as well. Everyone recognizing that the entire table is playing with speed and aims to shut it down. Nathan will continue discarding the middle tiles to retain the 2-4 chance. And Eric decides it's time to get rid of this floating 2-so. The opportunity to call Adora as passed. That is Tempai 2-5 Mon. Ooh, and Nathan now holding a deal-in tile. Do we switch? Yes. Chooses the shove away. Perhaps solely on the basis that the 4 pin is just closer to the door than the 6 is.
Wrong.
Tanyao Dora for Eric, who did shift from a 4-5-6 shape to a 3 or 5 shape to get the extra Dora inclusion. Yeah, I guess if the 6-so, thinking about Nathan's shift, if the 6-so deals into a door shape, it's probably a Noetan. And if the 4, but that's like the only real Dora shape, like Nobeton or Nobeton Plus. And the 4-so deals into a lot more door shapes, Diamen, Kanchan, so on and so forth. And of course the Nobeton that Ricky actually had. East 4, Dave's first shot at the dealer's seat. Plenty of so tiles, but playing this hand as if it were a standard play for efficiency, as the 1-pin Dora is locked in an awkward penchant. So Dave wants to get as many better block opportunities as possible. Eric on the right opens up with the Haku. Speedy call here. Aiming for a speedy hand. Of course, with this lead, Eric's goal is just to shut things down. Advance this game all the way to South 4 as fast as possible. Don't give anyone else a chance to build a monster hand to come back. Ricky across the table has the makings of a monster. Pair of Dora, Ipeco shape in the Pinzu. Just a lot of Penchon shapes in the Sozu. That one of those needs to be filled. Maybe even 2, if Ricky doesn't like the idea of a Shop Await in the future. This table has demonstrated that they're willing to play defensively against a Ricci. So imagining a Ricci on the 1-mon, 1-pin weight, you're probably not going to see the 1-pin, so you're really relying hard on the 1-mon, which is once cut. And although it looks good with the Suji trap, it relies on someone drawing the last 1-mon. Nathan on the left, Dion Shantem, with reasonably strong shapes. The weakest one, probably the 6-8 Kanchan in the Monzu. Really feels like Eric's hand here, holding the Ishanten, holding for a pair, really. Is
Home.
Ricky thinking about opening here? He is. Wow. This is a very late shift to Toy Toy, but the 5 comes out as well.
Home.
And all of a sudden it's looking realistic. What a move. Of course, when you pull the 4 pins, it does make the other tiles around it slightly harder for people to use. And Dave was just floating a 5 pin, said, okay, well, it's hard to use now, so I'll just drop it. We did find tap by Eric waiting for the 5 so, but 3 of the 5 so's held by Dave. Unlikely to see the light of day, so Ricky's got a very real chance here. Oh wait, 1 so paired up in Nathan's hand. And unless Nathan starts to defend with the 1 so, I don't think those are coming out. So Ricky would need the last 1 mon and the last 1 pin. There is a world where... Oh, there it is!
Home.
Okay, Tanyao shift made. That will lead to the Tempai. Table recognizing now it's a Toy, not a Tanyao. So anything's live.
Home.
Nathan will fight back, waiting for that last 7 mon, which is immediately drawn by Dave, but that fits into hand. He'll slam to Ricci, waiting for the 3 pin. 1 3 pin in the wall. Nathan's weight is dead. And there's 2 tiles in the wall for Ricky's hand. And Ricky's got so much value, I don't think he's going to fold against this dealer Ricci. Of course, Eric's weight is confirmed dead. Now switches to the Shabo. The Semso is safe. The Force's got to come out, right? It does.
Don't.
And once again, Eric will shut down a dealer Ricci and a Toy Dora 2/3 Mangan for Ricky. Just smothering this table, not letting anything through. Oh my, what an interesting start for Eric. Anko pair. That's when I start to get optimistic about Saranko. Decent floating tiles as well to work around. Doors the east, and that's just gotten paired up on the left by Dave. But now that we've shifted to the south round, it's a little bit more challenging to find a use for it, outside of just being a pair. On the right, there are a bunch of pairs, 5 of them. Oh, sorry, 4 of them. 3 being 6 pairs. Could we see some Doko shenanigans? 6 Doko, very difficult. Will Ricky go for it, or will we play efficiently here? Could start with a 9. Yeah, okay. I see what you're putting down there. I like it. Just looking around the table, Eric's got a floating 6 pin that doesn't have a home yet in the hand. Ricky's got a floating 6 mon that doesn't have a home in the hand. I mean, it could happen. The problem is Ricky's hand is coming together nicely. Now it looks like it could be Chitoy Ishanten. It could still be a normal hand, though, so anything is still possible. Oh, wow. Nathan has also paired the Dora across the way, so Mochi there, but Nathan is going for Chitoy, almost certainly. Ishanten for them. That means that these middle tiles are more likely to leave the hand. There's the 6 will we see a pull? And Ricky, are you going for it? Is the call of Chitoy too strong? It is not. Ricky is playing for the Doko. Let's go. Anko drawn by Nathan. Now's a great time to drop the 6 mon. And we are Ishanten for Tanyao Toy Sanchuku Doko. Just looking for a 6 pin. Now, unfortunately for Ricky, Eric has drawn a connector to that 6 pin in hand. So, less likely to see that flow out. However, Nathan, Dave, neither of those players can use it. It could come out naturally from their hands. Ricky holds the 2 so. You can still win Sancho Doko with a sequence.
7.
Oh, the last 6 is drawn by Eric. Will he hold it? Will he keep the Diamond in shape? It probably comes out, right? No, holds the pair as Tempai, but doesn't declare the Ricci. I don't know. This 6 so call
1.
is giving him second thoughts, and that means this Doko is dead. Ricci comes down. Ah, I didn't want it to be. At this point, Ricky holding so many of these Dylan tiles in a very vulnerable position.
Kang.
Khan? We're fighting. Oh, the Khan reveals 3 door for the Ricci. Can Eric find one of the last 2 tiles? 1 6 so in the wall, 1 3 so. And Ricky, you know, with the opportunity to rare Yaku, one that's very challenging, might be more inclined to push tiles. For example, if a 1 so or 4 so is drawn, you could see the 3 so come out and deal in. Ricky in a bit of trouble here. Of course, if the 8 bond comes out, that will be an easy pull and cut 2 so. And Ricky will dodge 50% of the danger.
Chi.
Dave making a play for K10. Still, 2 tiles in the wall for Eric. Nathan trying to find the best path to get out of here. Goes with the 3. Oh, there it is!
Sumo.
Sumo! Ura-san? Ura? Missing! With 2 indicators, missing it all. However, that is another 12,000 points going to Eric, who cannot stop winning. I don't know how many hands in a row has Eric won at this point. It is crazy. And if this continues, Eric could be jumping into not just the 4th spot overall, but maybe even past Nathan for sure. Theoretically, with a strong enough performance, say about another dealer, Mangan, could be even passing Kevin for 2nd place. And this is just game 1. Eric looking quite strong in this one. Haipai looks like it wants to be a Tanyao. No Dora in that case. Dora's the 9 mon. On the right, Ricky has a reasonable looking hand. Just no value here unless we can draw a Dora. Across the way, it's a very tense battle between Ricky and Nathan, so Nathan might be more inclined to just open up on the Haku here. Oh wait, the Haku's come out twice. Alright, it's going to be Ricci instead. On the left, Dave, Pinfu, Ipeko, Reach.
1.
Pin cut, and oh, look at this. There's 1 tile in the wall. Eric might not know it yet, but as time passes, we'll begin to suspect that he may be holding the winning tiles as the Suji and the other suits start to clear. 2 5 8's cleared. 3 6 9 pin is cleared. 8 5 so is safe. 1 4 7 pin clears. Nathan's probably content with folding here, although that's a nice fill. Goes with the Nakasuchi 5. And Eric has enough points that he can play however he wants. He can fold. He could even push. Doesn't matter. 369 Mon now clears. Ricky holding the one dangerous Suji in the Pinzu, the 2-5. Ricky wasn't going to push one Dora, but with two in hand says, okay, I think it's less likely that you're waiting on a Shabo or a Tonki here. So we'll go 9 Mon, 9 Mon. There it is, the last winning tile drawn by a folding player. And you can see that the tiles that Ricky has are just the remaining Suji that haven't cleared yet. 2-5 pin, the 1-4 Mon. Although the one's very safe. I think all the 2s have come out. So that means that basically all the Monzu are extremely safe. 6-0 was Nakasuji, 3-9 cleared. The 2-5 is really difficult with a 1 chance. So 4-7 so is basically the only Suji outside of 2-5 that's left. And yeah, as expected, cannot find a win here. Players doing a great job defending. Helps when one player is holding 5 of the winning tiles. But that will finally end Eric's dealership and send us into South 2. And wow, Ricky's got a very straightforward path this hand. Could become more complex. I guess 7-8-9 Sancho is not really viable since 8 is door and you want to keep the pair.
Boom.
Ooh, could call this and try to make Tanya happen. Ooh, now legitimately has a Tanya path. Very real. Eric, again, just shutting everything down. He's already Tempai.
Chi.
After this call and discard, Tempai on the 5-8 Mon. 8 Mon did get called by Dave, so a little bit worse of a wait, but there are some scenarios where Eric switches to a Shabo. Even considers calling that Tonki, but let's slide for now. Calling the 1-so and then dropping with a Monzu for a Tonki, or even Honitsu shift. Ooh, actually, well, the way this game is going, I'm on board with Eric just calling Pon on that 1-so and making a play for Honitsu. Remember, in the East rounds, he won back-to-back Honitsu.
Wrong.
But okay, we'll just shut it down with South only, and the game rapidly moves away from Ricky's dealership. I mean, no one can put anything together on Eric's dealership. He's winning big hands and getting repeats. On everyone else's dealership, Eric's winning again, just small hands and shutting things down. This is an amazing set of hands just refusing to let anyone do anything. It's just really frustrating for the other players. You sort of shift your thinking when this starts to happen. It's like, I may not be able to win a hand. Let me make sure that I play the rest of my game very cleanly and not give up any points that I don't have to. Because losing 1,000 points in this situation can be extremely damaging. I mean, look at how close the scoreline is. 17-5 for Dave, 18-1 for Ricky, 19-6 for Nathan. They're separated fourth through second by only 2,100 points. And that's, one 1,300 Dylan, one Richie Nomi from directly from one player to another. So that's where, Nathan fighting for Ryukoku payments early in the game, really relevant. Not dealing into 1,000 points when you don't have to, extremely relevant. Now we have Nathan here, Tempai. It is 4-7 Mon, Atsu only, 1,500, unless the Dora is the winning tile, in which case we'd have 29. Atsu instead, so just take the 500 all and repeat. And again, 1,500 might not seem like much, but given the current position, when you're nowhere close to taking first place, at the very least, maximizing your Uma is going to be really important here. And also, it's notable that because these players are so close, it's sort of an indication that Eric has just been winning via Tsumo. No one's been hemorrhaging points with deal-ins, at least not for large hands. So everyone's been kind of equally hit here. South 3, repeat 1, Dora's the Haku, and Nathan's holding one of those. Could be Itsu in the Pinzu. There's no pair in the hand, so that means you can Dora Tonki in the future. Okay, take that back. There is a pair, and out goes the Dora. No call. No one else has a Dora. On the right, Dave is working with shapes, but more importantly, across the table, Eric has another Honitsu, and these shapes are brilliant. Basically, every so draw has an immediate use in this hand, except for maybe the one so. And even that is not necessarily a bad draw. West Yakuhai already anchored up in hand, so looking very strong for Eric. Just calls way to another victory. Ricky on the left might have dreams of some type of Sanchoku in the lower portion. 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 4. That's also available to call. Just call for Eric Ishamten now. Deciding which honor to cut goes with the pay. Twice cut makes sense. It is a little weird that the East hasn't come out. You might be thinking neither could possibly have a pair of it. Oh, Chi into Tenpai. That's a really awkward Tenpai, but yeah, Tenpai's Tenpai. Let's it pass. Okay, this is slightly wider. By the way, this does not Tanyao for Nathan. This is actually Itsu. Itsunomi. Oh wow, Ricky drew the Anko of the Hatsu and now an Anko of the 8-pin. So very wide Ishamten. However, certain draws will lead to a deal-in. Here's a 7. This is a slightly better call for Tenpai, but doesn't take it. Could have waited 5-8 so or East Tonki. And maybe this is Eric giving respect to the dealer call. Ooh, nice fill. That is Tenpai. 4-pin discard leads to Sanchoku. So Dave, a brilliant hand here. Richi, Pinhu, Sanchoku confirmed. It's already a Mangan. Waiting 1-4 so. And the players might not remember, but 2 so was cut fairly early on. Oh, I guess it was like somewhere in the middle of the second row. Start second row, maybe. They might trust Sotogawa, though. And Eric is getting out of here. Ricky Tenpai and the Tuso is Genbutsu to the Richi. I don't know if he's concerned about the Tuso given that Eric has overflowed now, but might be recognizing that 7 and 8 so were both safe tiles and continues to fight here. No Richi. Oh, the Chu's going to come out, and that's going to deal into Nathan. Itsu. And that's a small thing because Ricky didn't Richi there, saved 1,000 points, which could be very relevant in the come all last. This side pie looks a little bit tricky for Nathan to put together. We'll start with just dumping the honor tiles and seeing what sticks. Does have a door in the hand and 1 completed shape, reasonable floating tiles. Very standard average hand for a dealer. On the right, Haku is in hand as well as Adora. And again, good floating tiles, so will be straightforward approach for Dave as well, most likely. Cutting a penchant instead of these Yakuhai, hoping to get a little bit extra value out of his hand. Another chance at 5-6 Sanchoku. Across the table, Eric has 4-5 Mon, 5-6 Pin, 5-6 So. Decent shapes, one of them being Adora. On the left, everyone had Adora except for Ricky, who is instead working with 4 pairs. That hand can become something normal, but would probably have needed to cut one of the pairs over, say, this 3-pin floating tile. Even the 6 Mon, you might cut the something like the 1 Mon or just the 9-pin. Ricky content with the current shapes and just going to play a straightforward game here. Eric has a small chance at Itsu now after drawing that 9-pin. He's looking for a 3 and a 7. Gonna get the equivalent of Nathan's win in the last one hand. F4 is a really important draw for Ricky. We'll end up moving towards Samachan with potential 1-mon 9-pin Shabo would be extremely nice. Nathan does have a Hatsu pair. That's probably just the pair in the hand. Unless one comes out really soon, but it would be the last Green Dragon coming out. Ishanten for Dave now after calling the Haku and pulling in a nice tile. One call away. Eric cutting the 1-so here is a little interesting. Now it looks like the 4-mon will act as the pair. The 5 will come out. In that case, I think it's hard to tell which diamond to keep, so Eric just kept them both. Sakigiri the 5, that will give Tempai though. And ooh, that means that Eric is likely to deal in if he forces the Itsu. And that just look like what's happening here. Again, that's just the Haku door, so 2,000 points to Hobot 26 is nothing to Eric. It's a small price to pay to advance to all last.
Don't.
There goes the 8-so in favor of a slightly safer West. 2,600 going to Dave. And that means that in all last, the battle for third and second still extremely close. And whoa, that's a lot of Manzu. And Dave immediately opens up with a 9-mon Pulm. Says, I know what this hand is going to be. And I'm going to move straight forward for the Chinitsu. Doors the Chun. And it comes out immediately from Eric. That's a very standard play if you're trying to just defend your lead. You've got that Yakuhai door. Play it out early. See who wants it. And avoid them. But since it passed so cleanly, Eric will just open up on the 8 pin, and it's unclear whether this is a Toy play or Tanyao. Looks like it's still up in the air. Across the way, Ricky, very challenging hand, cuts away from the Dora. Ichihime on the left. That's Nathan. Ishantem, 7-so and a 5-8 mon. Necessary draws for them. Could even work towards 6-7-8 Sanchoku dropping the 9-so and using the remaining 2 as a pair. Dave has somehow drawn and retained 2-7. So, but I think those will be leaving the hand. After that early call, it's been Ricky who's been drawing in all of the Monzoom. To the point that Ricky is actually Suanko Ishantem. Not Ishantem, Dion Shantem is what I was going to say. But Ishantem for a normal hand. And there's finally a helpful tile for Dave. Out goes the 7-so. Eric probably doesn't think that Dave is Tempai, yeah. Just throws the 8 out there. Ricky, is this a toy play? No, lets it pass. Just playing for the... Ooh, this Ishan. Playing for Ipeiko. Trying to Sakigiri this 5-mon. Given that the 8 passed, it's half Tsuji. Oh, no. And this is Tempai, but... It's not Suanko Ishanten. Might have just chosen to take the Tempai anyway because points are important. Now, this Ricci stick notably dips Ricky below Dave. Sumo would be Samako. Oh, and Nathan's going to fight. And Dave fights Tempai. It's Honitsu. The Shabo 3-mon Haku. It's 5-8-4 Nathan, so 8-mon would be double roam. But the 8-mon is confirmed, locked into There's a
Don't.
3. And Nathan taking this fight is going to deal into 2,900. And because Dave got all of the Ricci sticks as well, that will put him into second place by 1,700 and opens up this really nice high pie. We'll probably have to drop the... Actually, you can hold on to the door for a little bit. Cut spin like a 9-pin.
Pump.
But again, Eric's just opening the hand has made his intentions very clear in this game. I will call just about anything to shut down the hands. And is sitting Shantan technically. 8-pin, 1 8-pin and 1 3-mon away from Tempai. Across the way, Ricky, another very challenging hand to play, but made the best of it in the last hand. Got the first Ricci. We'll see if Ricky can do it again. For Nathan, this looks like it wants to be a closed hand, a Ricci, maybe Ipeko. Or just draw an Anko. Shanten for Dave now and decides now's the time to drop the Dora. And I wonder if Dave will work towards Chinitsu. Like, this would be a great call if you're planning as Chinitsu. Let's it pass and trust the Tempai instead. Can't slam the Ricci on the Shabo for Ricci Tanya. Or could drop the 3. I guess that would also be a Shabo, wouldn't it? But if you Dama, you can work your way towards Itsu. Could reach you with a 3 with a 4-7 weight. Does want to reach something. Is deciding what it will be. Goes with a 3. Ricci Tanyao Pinfu. That's not a bad hand at all for Dave. Mangan potential. Eric just gave up Ishanten, so we'll not call the 3-mon. And start to defend. Looks like we're going to be going another round one way or another. That's Nathan also bowing out with West, West, West. There's only 2 tiles on the wall for this weight, so it goes to Ryukoku a decent amount of time. There's one of them. Only one left now. A little tricky for Ricky to defend here. Just goes with the terminal tile. 6-mon is actually Nakasuji. One so as a terminal is pretty decent too.
Sumo.
Oh, there it is, the last tile, and that's big. Ricci, Tsumo, Pinfu, Tanya. Ura would be Mangan. Ura 2 would be Hane. Misses it all, but 26 all is extremely good for Dave. He's close to hitting... Oh! Ho, ho, ho. I was going to say, forget 30,000. What in the world is this high pie? There's like 2 different Yakuman you can go for, as well as just Horitsu Yakuhai, 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 Dora 3. I mean, if you get it all. And Eric has been dropping these Dora tiles early. We could see a fast Chun Pon. Here's a Haku Pon. Forso to follow? No. Hedging a normalcy. Hedging normalcy is Dave. Doesn't want to ring any alarm bells. Wants this Chun to come out. And Eric, this round, is holding it. Maybe remembering the Chun that he discarded early. The last time it was the Dora. Only to draw it back later. And out it comes Pon, Dave. Now threatening Shou Sangan. Although Hatsu is the Dora indicator. And honestly, if you're anyone else at this table, do you want to risk dropping a Hatsu right now? Maybe in another situation you'd be fine with it. We're about to find out. Ricky, what do you say? If you're going to drop it, now's the time. Now's the time. Yes, he shoves it. Ricky. And yeah, Dave says, no, Shosangen's... I just need to win this hand. I don't care about Shosangen. I don't even care about Hunitsu. Yakuhai, Dora 3. That's good enough for me. If I get the South as well, that's a Hanuman. Ricky will find Tempai. Do you reach this? Do you play for Gianpeko?
1
It's Richie Nomi. It might not even be enough. The gap to catch Nathan is what, 4,400? There's a Richie stick and 2 Homba. Nathan's got this east though.
1
And Dave's Tepai on the Sanzo. Sanzo's double run. But no one will drop it. Oh, instead it's
Sumo.
Fran. So Richie Sumo. Is that enough? Do we need Uda? Mrs. Uda, it's 36. I think that's 41. That's just short, right? It is just short by 100 points. What a close battle that was in the end. And what an incredible shot by Dave for another incredible hand. The story of this game, though, was definitely Eric. Plus 48.3, just dominating the entire game. I bet you if we look at the game results, Eric will have won 90, not 90, like 75% of the hands. There were 16 hands. I guess he didn't win as many as I thought. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And oh, there's just a lot of Ryukyoku where Eric was Tempai as well, so it felt like he was winning them all. But incredible performance there. I believe they will be playing a second game. And of course, there are a million other games that are taking place at the same time. Looks like they will be playing another one, and it will be starting in about 4 minutes. We'll get these standings to update, and Eric climbs into 3rd place overall. Nathan drops down to 4th place. Of course, still plenty of breathing room for the both of them. Ricky drops out of the guaranteed promotion zone, but it still is in a very strong position in B3 despite eating an unfortunate 4th place. And Dave still in the positives as well, climbing back from 4th place. A few other games have finished and in the league. I should definitely mention those results. In C1, a table with Jackson, Christopher, Thompson, and Scott. Jackson, the big winner, plus 37.6. Christopher, 12.3, 2nd place. That moves Jackson into the 6th guaranteed promotion slot with 3 games to play. And that moves Christopher to a negative 60.8, very close to the positive zone, which is a very important place to be if you are in C1. A B2 game finished as well. Emily takes a 1st place plus 23.1. Daniel positive 8.7. Ryan the positive 0.2. So 3 players ended up being positive there. A very chippy game, only 2 Mangan hands. Of course, the 3rd game that finished was our own one that we were watching here in B3. Games at the top of the hour are starting to come in as well. We have another B3 table that just opened up between Nancy, Jacob, Kevin, and Adam. Kevin, of course, is 2nd place in the division, as we can see in the standings. And it is Nancy is just behind Ricky in 9th place. So another very relevant table. They're just finishing up their series that started yesterday. 1 game to play for them. All right, I anticipate this next game is going to be starting very soon. Just a minute away. Looks like Dave will be the first dealer. Dave followed by Eric, and then Ricky, and then Nathan. And I kind of like, being the last dealer in the last game, followed by the first dealer, especially when like you went on a bit of a run, right? Dave had some incredible hands in the last game. It feels like he's got some momentum coming into this game, even though it's a completely separate game, and also given that every hand is completely unique. But still, it just mentally it feels kind of nice. And they're off.
Home.
All right. Right into things. Dave has decent Tanyao looking shapes. The problem is that 7-8 will make it rather difficult to confirm Tanya. So a decent chance that we'll just hold the current shapes as they are and play for Ricci. On the right, there's a fast call from Eric, maintaining the speed from the prior game, working towards non-door 1 currently. Cross tail, that's door 2 for Ricky. And that hand is Ishantem. Ricci door 2 on the left. Nathan, slightly difficult shapes here. This 2-2-4-6-8-8 shape is okay in the early stage of the game. It gets really awkward late. And I think some decisions that Nathan's going to probably make are whether cut this one pin pair, Tanyao. When things start becoming efficient, maybe cut the 2-mon to confirm the Dora in a Diancon shape. And then as pairs continue to come to hand, is this actually Chitoi? Eric in the meantime does find Tempai 5-8 Mon, and I fear for this 8 Mon in Dave's hand. Really needs to draw a 7 Mon. Still going to take some time before Dave has to make a decision. When I tell, uh-oh. Well, this is where it comes out. Almost certainly. Just the most efficient play, and that will be the 2-Han hand for Eric. Picking up right where he left off in the last game, winning hands. And now on the dealership, we'll see what Eric can pull together. There's a Dora. There's one completed shape. Some floating tiles. Not necessarily the best floaters either. So we'll be slightly slower for Eric, most likely. On the right, Ricky with decent shapes. Tottenham's potentially viable. Oh, second Dora for Eric. That's kind of interesting. It means he'll most likely aim for a Ricci this time. Across the way, there are 3 pairs. Oh, these shapes are not good for Nathan. Depending on the draws, it's got to be a Ricci, maybe a Ipeko as well. Dave on the left. Pifu shapes, these are a little better. The only issue with Pifu is that you've got a pair of norths, and that's your Yakukai. So if we don't see a call of that, that might end up leaving the hand in exchange for something like Tanya Pifu. Right.
Chi.
Eric Ishanten now, after pulling in this 2-pin, was eyeing up the 3-5 stud, but now we're just Ricci. Dave did end up dropping the pair, and now Ishanten for Tanyao. Ricky is advanced slightly, but still very much in the waiting stage, and not a ton of value just yet. Again, still needs another block to make Tanyo. Could just drop the 8 so here. Wait and see. It is Ishantan. But there are some draws that will move Ricky in the direction of Tanyo. Namely the 4 mon, but even the 5 mon, you can think about it. Very much a waiting game for most of the players. This is Tempai. Does not want to slam Richinomi. Waiting on just the 2 mon. Oh. This is weird for Eric. The Dora came out.
地位
Maybe that was, a decision. I need to speed up my hand.
相撲
Instead, just give me Chi and Sumo on the last 6 mon for Ricky. Tanya only shutting down the dealership. So, yeah, Ricky battling back here. This high pie looks... Oh, are we doing it again? Are we doing the Doko? Ricky had an amazing attempt at the Doko in the last game. And Eric unfortunately drew the last 6 necessary to... That was holding Ricky back. And used it as a pair in the hand, effectively shutting down the Doko. But that was a very fun attempt, and we'll see if it happens again. This time it would be a 4 Doko. And lo and behold, there are 4s in the wall to be drawn. Okay, Ricky gives up on it this time. I took my shot at it, didn't pan out. 2 Dora though, this is quite nice for Ricky. Tanyao. Dora 2 or 3. Ichihime, that's Nathan on the right, making rapid progress. Hishanten can open up as well, either Atosuke or on the east itself. Dave across the table, very rough-looking hand. And you look at the discards, it's 7 mon first to hold a diamond shape and float as many different tiles as possible, followed by just honor tiles and terminals. So Dave's draws have been very, very poor. The walnut giving him any favors here. Nathan on the left, looks like a Junchan play. Trying to make use of this door, though we'll need to draw 9 so. Or 7 so, and Ricky now Ishantan with Jiankan, Diamen.
Boom.
Could Chi this and have a Diamen shape. Could also just accept the draw.
地位
Oh, the draw would have filled the shape. For Nathan, there's a very real possibility that the 8 so leaves the hand, in which case Ricky will have a Mangan Tenpai. Here's the East finally, and Dave looks out on the board and says, I can't see any of those. Let me reconsider dropping that. As Ricky finds Tenpai. 2-5 Mon. Not many left in the wall, only 2. Nathan with his... Oh, I never mind. There's the 5. Tanador to 2,000 all will give Ricky the advantage in East 3. It is a nice high pie. You can call the Hatsu. Just work your way towards another repeat. Looking for a pair. Ideally, you would fix this penchant shape. Either with a 3 so immediately or just using it as the pair. On the right, very average hand with a Dora. Slow efficiency necessary.
Boom.
Across the way, Dave will open up on the west and be 2 away from Tempai with Dora 2. On the... I think I just said on the left. Well, that was Dave across the table. On the left, it is Eric. Another closed hand for Eric. This time, not so readily callable. It's interesting here, Ricky, with all of these pair candidates, whether he chooses to cut the 1-2 so and give up the 8-pin acceptance, or retain the 3 so acceptance and cut the 9 there. And now we'll have to make the choice, probably the 1-2 now. We have Tempai and the 4-7 so 4-7 Bon, I should say, for Dave. West Dora 2. 4 tiles in the wall. Oh, that can act as the pair. You start with the 1 so. Ricky might have to drop that soon, though. A lot of draws will prevent Ricky from dealing in, though. Namely, 3-5-6 pin. Yeah, Chi this, and that will dodge the trouble.
Chi.
Tempai, 5-8 pin, or Hatsu only, and the 5
Don't.
immediately comes out. Nathan made some progress, so 1500 plus Homba. Ricky will stay in the dealer's seat again. Just counting the Kokushi tiles on the left for Eric, I saw 8 in a pair. We'll continue to float it. Our dealer, though, might have Itsu in the Manzu. Certainly all the blocks for it. Outside, of course, in the middle Mon block, but you draw 4 or 6, and you're looking good. The other floaters are not bad. No, not amazing, but not terrible. And there's a door in hand, so very strong high pie for Ricky. I'd be very happy to open up to this. I hate that 9-pin draw. It's really not the one you wanted to see, because you might find yourself on a penchant for just Richie Dora. And then anytime you draw another floating tile, like say you draw 4 so or 3 so, you have to make that decision. Is this penchant worth holding? Think about your 3 so. Oh, I guess we've already cut the 1-2, so never mind about the Sanchoku. Nathan on the right. Tonio-esque hand. We draw around the 5-pin can move in that direction. Ooh, 5 Uncle draw. That's an opportunity. I mean, the most efficient is probably just the 5-mon, but I think I like this 9-8 cut. I'm not seeing anything by the other players that indicates the Itsu is completely dead. And we just still take some good Richis, and now this lets us hold this 3 so. So in the end, we ended up cutting that penchant. Across the way, Dave, not too bad. Can't accept Dora. Oh, but Nathan's gonna get there first. Nice 3-mon draw. Slams a Ricci on just the 5 so. And the 6 so is actually not that dangerous. But Ricky will play the 3 instead. That does potentially lead to Furitan. But for the time being, it is slightly more efficient. I don't think Ricky plans on giving up on this hand. I think if the So tile is drawn to Slamarichi, if the Pin tile is drawn to Tempai, might still Slamarichi. 50-10 or not, it is 3-sided. Toln is once cut, it's fine. Nothing in the early portion of Nathan's discards felt like anything weird was happening. Oh, ooh, that's the Itsu draw, and this might lead to the deal-in. Riki has so many other draws into Tenpai that don't involve Itsu and don't involve dealing in. Anything, 1 through 5 in the Manzu is going to give you Tenpai. But at this point, your weights are looking kind of bad. The 4 pin's thrice cut. 1 pin is twice cut. Could go 8-9 Mon and avoid all the danger. Oh, instead goes to the 3 pin, 2 pin. It says the door shape is weak enough that I can't actually complete it. And I missed that the one pin was the indicator, so even one more pin for your tire for that. Instead, it will be the single of the last 5, so if you wait long enough, eventually it will come your way. And Nathan will win the Richitsumo. So far, not anything too massive by any of these players. No big deal-ins either. Just nice defense and good sumos. 2 Dora for Nathan in the dealer seat in East 4. And lots of pairs. This is 4 now. Probably hoping to not end up going the route of Chitoi. On the right. Very slow looking hand. Across the table, Eric has Pihu-esque shapes. 7-8-9 Sancho is possible as well. 4 pin can accept Dora. And on the left, Ricky. 4 pairs, another very slow looking hand. So definitely Nathan looking the strongest here, but might have to drop a Dora. And if you're dropping a Dora for Sancho, that's pretty good. If you're dropping a Dora for Richie Pin Fedora, that's also not bad either. We did see Nathan was not willing to open up on the 1 pin for open Sancho Fedora. And even then, relying on the 1-so to come out. 1-so which is actually being held. And a 1-so that Eric desperately wants to draw across the table for Itsu-chan's. Ishanten, though, for Nathan, in a manner that involves usage of both of the door here, so very promising. It looks like it's a race between Eric and Nathan. We'll see who gets there first. If Nathan finds Tenpai and then Eric gets the Sanchoku draw, like 6-0 for 3-sided, he'll probably deal in on Ippatsu. Ooh, I see the Chitoi route, though. On the left, it's Ishanten. Oh no, but holding this force and the 7s. So Nathan will declare Richie door 2. Looking at 7,700. Eric, 5 Mon's Nakatsuchi. That's pushable. Unfortunately for him, that means he's not giving up. Still floating at tile acceptance around this 4 pin. And does draw the 3-sided. And that means the 4 will be coming out. There's Ura as well. It's a Mangan. That's the first big deal of the game. Nathan now 40,500 points, and Eric will take the hit directly. Of course, given the results of the first game, Eric definitely has some points to play with, but definitely not what he wanted to see here. I am drawn to Eric's hand with all those 2-so. Held. Actually gave up on the 1-so immediately, anticipating a con. And is Ishanten. Now's the time. Con from Ishanten. Quite natural because it can give you the draw into Tenpai sooner than waiting for your next draw. It can also allow you to hold more floating tiles. Eric could be floating tile acceptance around the 6-pin and the 7-so by declaring the con right now. And I think I would definitely have done so. However, by waiting, you give yourself Rinchan chance, and Rinchan is very fun. Rinchan Kaiho. A Yaku that we saw more frequently than I was expecting recently. A couple of very funny Rinchans happened within a week, I think. Oh, that would have been Sumo if the 6 had been kept. But now that it's Mega Furiten, so Eric will just throw it back and wait for a Mon connector. Shaw's once cut, and we'll just hold the Shaw. What is... I wonder what Eric is waiting for here. Eric, on the other hand, sorry, Ricky on the left, might be thinking about shifting towards the Sanchoku. 6, 7, 8. If the 4-pin is drawn, there's definitely an avenue. Even if it's something like a 2 or 5 mod, definitely can just cut the 4-pin end and hope to pull in a 7. Oh, lets the 2 go. Maybe this is a play for Itsu instead. Open for a door draw and a 9 mod. Okay, this is Tenpai. Con taken. It's a tune. Oh, no Richi here. There's no Yaku. But you flipped yourself 2 Dora. I think that's typically good enough to slam a Richi. And you've got a boatload of food because of the con.
Each.
Yeah, we will take the Richi now.
Each.
Oh, and immediately chased. With the 3-sided. This is what Ricky was looking for. The 1, 4, 7, where 1 is the Dora and Itsu.
Richi.
Oh, and immediately another chase. Everyone's fighting here. But the 1 is drawn, Ipatsu. Wow, Ricky had the vision. Richi, Ipatsu, Tsumo, Pifu, Sanchoku, Dora. Sorry, not Sanchoku, but Itsu, Dora. And the Ura for a Baimon. Incredible. Ipatsumo Ura on the Dora Takame. Just winning it all and then some. And just like that, Ricky in dominant position here in South 1. Forget Sanchoku when you've got Itsu. And that's going to have some pretty massive implications in the standings too. Ricky really needed a big game like this to climb up. Dave now the dealer. And very Mon heavy hand, as well as loading several honor tiles.
Home.
We'll just open up. It's going to be a Honitsu play. Once the table sees 9-so, 9-so, the plan will become clear. Because if you were playing for Toy Toy, you'd definitely keep a 9-so pair. And that means it's not Toy Toy, unlikely to be Yakuhai even, because if you're Yakuhai, say Atosuke, you'd love to have a pair. And if you had a pair of Yakuhai or an Anko, you'd probably be thinking about Toy Toy. So that means it's almost certainly a Honitsu or Chinitsu. And Dave finds himself Ishanten now. Normally, players who are not sitting to the left of Dave can pretty comfortably drop Mon tiles, but not when you're just pulling everything. Oh, I like this one Mon. Nathan's looking at this and thinking, I don't really want to drop this anymore. I don't think you're Tenpai. You could be, because you overflowed with the tune after cutting from a block, but I just don't really want to drop it. Yeah, Nathan is off the Manzu. Ricky, of course, wanted that 2-pin, but couldn't pawn for it. Needs to chi. And now draws into Tenpai on that 2-5. Now can run it. Interestingly, Nathan on the left has drawn into Ishantan. But if they're going to fight, it needs to be with a Mon tile. East came out, but then there was a Tadashi of the north. Ricky still trusts the East enough to play it out. Oh, this 5. This is the deal in town. Ricky now playing the shutdown game. 1,000 points will end the dealership. Send us into South 2. For the Eric, this is a very important hand in last place. And you open up this high pie. And Eric's just looking at this and trying to puzzle out the best path to being able to repeat. And decides Chanta. This isn't necessarily a Chanta force, but it's definitely a Chanta lean. There are some worlds where you end up drawing around this 1-so, using the 4-mon as the pair and going for Sanchoku instead, but in most cases you will probably just end up with the Chanta. On the right, Ricky has the ability to call for double south, and now a Dora is... Okay, never mind about that Dora. Don't need Dora, we're going. We just need to win the hand and get out of here. Across the way, Ichihime is struggling a little bit with these shapes. Could be a Tanyao. Could be a callable way forward. And, you know, a second place is a reasonable outcome for Nathan. On the left, Dave is holding a Dora and continues to hold the door despite it being once cut. Oh, great fill for Eric. Now this is just Ishant then, so it doesn't need to be Chanta anymore. Tenpai. There really isn't much improvement here, so Eric could just slam a Ricci.
Each.
2-pin weight, Ricci no me, but you have a 8 Fu already concealed in your hand. You have 2 Fu in this weight, so Tsumo will be an upgrade. Oh, well, immediately draws an upgrade tile. That 4-mon would give you an Anko, and definitely improve your options.
Each.
Ricky's going to fight, though. Ricci, Shabo weight, intentionally choosing the weight to get double south. And the 9-so immediately comes out. What about Ipatsu? But could be getting more here. 2-pin now drawn, and the south is going to come out. Again, the vision from Ricky did get rewarded. Rather than just simply Ricci Patsu, got Ricci Nan for the 52. And that will send Dave closer to Eric. So although Eric did lose out on a Ricci stick and the dealership, he is now 4,000 within 4,000 points of Dave. Nice high five for Ricky. It seems to be the wall is giving each player a turn. Game 1 was Eric's run of things. Game 2, Ricky. Who will the wall favor in game 3? Although I shouldn't say it's just random luck that that Ricky has and Eric in the previous game have had such great wins. They've definitely been building these hands, allowing for the best possible draws and taking advantage of whatever is given to them. Nathan has an interesting idea here. Maybe 789 Sanchoku, but just gives it up. Holds for 567 instead.
Kang.
Khan, there's the West. And this time it's an instantaneous con, as Eric needs points and the West doesn't provide any utility in the hand. So this does reveal the new door to be the East, which is, I guess, one's cut, and the rest are in the wall. So not very relevant new Dora. Actually, lacking a pair. I wonder if that 3-mon could have been retained for a future 1-1-1-3 shape. Well, it turns out it doesn't matter when Nathan draws the 6 pin and slams a Ricci, but immediately chased by Dave, and things are getting exciting here. Oh, Eric's got all of the deal-in tiles. It is just 3 pin on the right with 2 in the wall. Across the way, it's 5-8, and that's Patsumo Ricci, Patsumo Pinhu. And Ura hits 1 for the Mangan, and that's going to make things quite interesting moving into all last for Nathan, who's trying to stave off Dave and retain second place. Also, it puts Ricky as the only player above 30,000, so he lost 2,000 points. But if the score remains this way with 3 players below, will net gain 3,000 due to the bonus 5 Uma for being the only quote-unquote floating player. Nathan in the dealer seat, not ready to let the game end so easily. Multiple pairs, we've got 4 of them. Could shift to a Tanya, door acceptance in hand as well. Very flexible hand. And now it's Chitoi Ishanten. What do you cut here? Could go 8 so, 9 so. And hedge Chitoi a little bit. You don't want to give up on Tanya in a normal hand completely. There's the 7. Well, by going with a 9 first, you can still retain an diamond by cutting the 1 pin. And that's exactly what Nathan will do. On the right, looks like a Tanyao hand, and Dave wants to do a little bit better than just Tanyao, as the gap is 4,700 points. But 3 Hansumo will be enough. Oh, and how about this? Just draw another Anko. Maybe San Anko's on the cards. Eric across the way with 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs as well. But 2 of them, those tiles are Dora. And Eric needs a big hand. So something like Ricci, Ipeko, Pinhu, Dora, Dora would certainly help his cause quite a bit. On the left, Ricky wants to just end the game. And has potentially a Tanya hand to do it. Ooh, this is a really interesting draw for Nathan. It gives you more options. And there will be probably some future discards where Nathan will have the option to call. And we'll have to make the tough decision whether to do so or not.
Each.
Ricci. Dave did get there, not the San Anko way, but Ricci with a diamond, hoping for Sumo and Ura. That will do it. Not many tiles in the wall, though. Only 1, in fact. And for Ricky on the left, Ricky doesn't really mind if Dave wins as long as it's not a Mangan. Now,
Khan.
Khan. That makes a Mangan more likely. In fact, that gives Dave the door he needs. So all he needs to do is find that Sumo. Or get a Roan with Ura. That would work as well. Roan from anyone with an Ura. Direct from Nathan would work. But all these middle pin tiles look kind of suspicious. Could see a Chi here, and the 1-mon is safe. I would do it. Got 3, 4, 5 Sancho. Let's go.
Boom.
Oh, but Nathan shuts it down. Ricky, I'm certain, already called the button. Click the button, rather. And the 3 comes out, and that's going to be enough to exchange places. Ricci Dora. There's no Ura, but 26 direct with the Ricci stick and all. means that Dave will be taking the second place here. Minus 3.7 for Dave. Nathan takes the minus 9.2 in third. And Eric, minus 36.3, will lose some of those points that he gained in game one, but still net positive on the day. It is Ricky, though, plus 49.2, the big winner in this one. The only player above 30,000, as we've seen so far in this series. A very consistent theme. And that means that as we look at the standings again, Ricky jumps back into the 6th place overall, right behind Eric in the standings. 2 games in. Well, these players have just been exchanging points. Dave takes another small second place, mirroring the first game. Second place is usually a good thing, but has only resulted in very small negatives. I think Dave's lost about, 5 points almost? Just by getting second place. It's really unfortunate. But still in the positives, and that's very important for Dave. 2 games yet to play here. And Nathan, with 12 third places, maintaining that 0-4th season. Yeah, with the way this series has been going, I see Ricky in the chat. Anything can happen in 2 games. I mean, it has been really a dominant performance by one player in each go around. But in theory, you might get 1 or 2 bonus slots of promotions. So, and if that does end up happening, then there is a little extra leeway. But a lot of the other players outside of the zone are yet to play all their games. Michael has 4 games. Nancy is playing a game right now and has 1 game after that. So could still be quite tight in the future. Updates from around the league. That C1 table that was playing a little bit earlier has continued. Jackson, another first place, will continue to climb in the guaranteed promotion zone with a positive 26.1. And it was Christopher, another positive finish with positive 11.2, second place. So Christopher getting very close to being over 0 points, which is, again, a huge goal for C1 players. In the B2 matchup, it was Philip taking a first place, plus 40.5, undoing the damage from the third the fourth in the last game. In fact, more than compensating for that game. Philip will be climbing the rankings there. Ryan takes a positive 6.5 second place. Emily the third, Daniel the fourth, and of course we had our game. One more result in B3 just came through. David plus 30.7 in first place. Blaine a positive 13.7 second. Rob, negative 7.4 third, and Tara, negative 37.0. That is the division that we're looking at right now. Let me put the big screen up there and see if that game can be reflected in the standings. It hasn't updated just yet, but that will solidify Dave in the lead. Actually, Dave now up to over 300 points in the division with 3 games to play. If he finishes out the season with 3 more firsts of 30 points or more, will have set a new record for the most number of points won in a single season. So good luck to David, and good luck to the rest of the players at the table. Rob, with that positive finish, is going to improve in 10th place here. All right, that is the full set of games. I am kind of curious to see how the final B3 game that's currently going on, how they're doing there. So I'm going to take a quick peek at the one that should be finishing soon. Let's just go to all last because I anticipate that's where we're sitting. Oh, South 3.
Oh, hey there, Nathaniel.
Hey, Korak, how's it going?
Pretty good. I thought you had a co-commentator, but he
T.
seems to have dipped or not showed up, so you have to put up with me for a little bit anyway.
Oh dear, whatever will I do with the one and only Korak as my co-commentator?
Well, we just saw 3 come out, and one of the very first things we see is 3 come out and not deal in. So normally you take those Richidora 1, especially all this in the middle. I think there was definitely some lost chance there. Who is that, by the way?
That would be Nancy across the table. Just looking around, we
Ah,
have.
okay, with the no name, that immediately get. Wait a second.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's a very. I love the name though, accomplishing no name in the funniest sense possible. And it's Kevin, Kevin D in the current dealer seat, Adam on the right, Nancy across the table, and Jacob on the left. I've yet to update the names for that, but we'll see if I can squeeze that in there.
Now, deer here getting very close now. Shapes aren't great. You may just want to cut the Dora now. The 1-3
T.
doesn't do much. You could also just efficiently cut the game on. Instead cuts the 6, okay. We do have Tempai on the right, and that Haku may come right out any second. The only reason it wouldn't is that may be a Honitsu play. Plus, of course, it's late and you see someone making some crazy calls, but with that scoreline, I think you just have to shove regardless.
Yeah, I mean, it would be.
Each.
Well, maybe not. There's a Ricci now. And Naiso's not going to deal in.
Does not deal in. And interestingly, there was
Oh!
a shift, but it was away from Dora. Well, what just happened? I'm very confused.
50-10.
Oh,
50-10. Adam
ooh,
drew the
that's a
wrong
nice draw
side.
there on the left.
Yeah, will he cut 7? So do you think? No.
Well, no, it was across the way. It was a 1. Oh, I see what happened. Yeah. Well, no, it was a 1-2-3, and then drew the 4 and cut the 1, but the 1's Dora, so I think that was a mistake.
Oh, I guess you're exchanging Dora for Tanya. Oh, no, it's
Well,
not
you're not
Tanya.
because you have a
Yeah.
9-mon pair.
Yeah, interesting. Now, dealer wants nothing to do with this. They're just bowing out. And that
Yeah,
is.
I think you just want to fold here. You're going to see there on the right, Perry try and sneak into Tempai, but throwing 999 and a different 9 this turn, just trying to get something. Does not want to throw that 2-1. It seems very clear.
Yeah, I think they may have pushed if they didn't draw the wrong side of the Atosuke shape.
But that's going to be a new leader as we head to South 4.
Gonna take this opportunity to put the rest of the players in.
All right, dealer on the right has the East. Yakuhai could go Honitsu, could go Chanto with this. Couple ways to play it. On the right, we have kind of a Pinfu hand, nothing fancy. A floating 9-pin Dora with a 2-6-9, not great. You need to fill that penchant with a 1-2-mon. Across the way, nice little Ipeco developing across the way. You'd love some sort of Sanshouku with me 1-2-3 or 2-3-4, but it looks unlikely. Ipeco looks way better here. And you get lucky, you could get Rion Peiko even. Ricci, Pinfu, Tanya, Rion Peiko. Ooh, that's a dream hand for sure. But what's
T.
very unlikely, because on the right we have a Honitsu using the 2s.
Oh, yes. And Kevin is going to be calling for every single top possible. There's the last 2.
Yeah, so much for that plan. And interesting, cuts the 1 pin there. I think I'd want to hedge some sort of 1-2-3 Sanshoku there. But may just have Tanya on the brain. And if you're going to do that, you just cut the 1 so. Because the 1 pin still connects to a lot of stuff. You don't know where those 2s are. May just be trying to get rid of it now. But it's always going to be safe because that 1 pin came out on the left and on the right and in front of us. So it was 100% safe.
Ooh. Still loses a little bit of child acceptance here and loses your 2-3-4 Sandraku, most importantly, in my mind at least. Oh no, could be Tempai.
And the Uni backfire, deserved for throwing Sanso.
I see. Definitely not a member of the Sanzo cult. Ooh, that's a nice fill for Nancy, and that'll be.
That is a nice full. That is Tempai, Ricci, Penfu on 4-7-mon. But that weight is 1 left. It's just 1 7-mon, which is discarded. It's completely dead.
Wow. And Monzo don't necessarily look safe. Kevin was
Mons look horrible against that board. There's 1 9 Mon, and that's it. Like maybe the 8 is okay, but anything else in Monzu looks horrible. The only benefit is most of the show tiles don't look great either. So there isn't that much information from that pond.
yeah. Kevin immediately drew a Mon tile and said, "Now I'm out. Here's a Dora." There's 4 Ricci sticks, and if dealer isn't Tempai or doesn't win the hand, they will all be lost.
Well, a 6-0 draw. Could have any pick if you'd stayed Dama, but why would you ever stay Dama in this game?
Looks like Adam is content to just back away. Will be a second place though, if he doesn't find Tempai.
Yeah, Kevin, there are ways to get to Tempai, but it's going to require some effort. Especially having cut that 9 pin earlier, the Dora there, you have much less incentive to
Each.
push because you had the 9. Oh,
Don't.
there's the deal ends. So much for that. Picks up the Ricci Pinfu. No Aura, but the big thing is the 4,000 in the middle, including your own stick back. That's going to be a pretty big win there.
Yeah, Nancy will confirm first place plus 30.8. Adam takes the positive second with a positive 13.8. Kevin takes minus 11.1 third, and Jacob minus 33.5 fourth. I think the big winner in this series was Kevin, as we saw in the 3 games yesterday, picking up over 100 points in those in that series, jump into second place. Will drop back down to around where Nathan sits currently, but a very strong performance overall for Kevin. Nancy climbing back in this game will finish that series at 82.4, but as opposed to the other 3 players at this table, Nancy still has 4 games yet to play, so can still climb into the guaranteed promotion zone.
Yeah, unfortunate, but looks like Adam and Jacob will demote after this season, and Kevin is very likely to promote. Even if almost everyone under him jumps, you're still talking about likely extra promotion spots because things will trickle down, especially get towards B3 or C1. You expect more than 1 or 2 promotion spots a lot of the time. But in second place, great there. And of course, we go earlier, David there at the top with a plus 305 has just been rolling this division. Actually, he commented one point like, wait, Korek said I should shove more. Hey, I should shove more. And I think it's working out for him.
Yeah, David's had the strategy this season of playing for the Mangan, playing tight, like not necessarily opening up to press the game forward unless he's in command, and just wait for the big hand and win it, and has served him very well this season. So it looks like David's pretty much guaranteed to promote into B2
Oh
as
yeah,
well next season.
David. Even if you just skip the rest of the games, is in. So unless you just drop, honestly, you'd have to drop probably 250 over 3 games, which I don't know is possible. So congratulations to David, who will be going to B2, and it looks like Kevin is very likely going to B2 here.
Absolutely, especially that I think B3 has 7 promotion slots right now. The scoreboard is having a little bit of a glitch, so we can't see them, but I believe there's 7 already, and a large number of the players below Kevin right now are playing each other. Like Nathan is playing against Eric, Ricky, and we're just on that table, one other player, but they're all clustered together, so it's hard for them all to win. So congrats to David and Kevin both. And we're looking for the next game to start around the top of the hour. Let's
Which of
see.
course means we'll have a 5 minute delay even when it does pop up, but we will post when it comes up in chat, and it'll be 5 minutes from that. So we are expecting something around 8 minutes from now. So I think we're going to break unless you have something.
Nope. Yeah, we just covered all of the recent results that came in, so we will indeed be on a break, and when we come back, it will be. Well, we're not sure what it's going to be next, but whatever game pops up next, we'll be covering it. See you in 5. All right, welcome back, everybody. It is B1, Table 1, the small division, 16 players, and 4 of those will be battling it out in this one. Stanley, who is topping the charts as of the current moment. Julian in the 8th position, positive 11.2. Jay, right ahead of the cut line, minus 34.4. And Greg, who is the first player in the relegation zone, minus 48.4. They'll be battling it out in this one. Greg, first dealer. Stanley to the right. Jay across the table. And Julian on our left.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about the overall standings in a bit, but this dealer hand could be. Oh, I don't like the tune cut. Like when I see this, I want to go Honitsu Chanta Haku, honestly. Because I immediately. Well, okay. I think you could have hedged with maybe 2-pin first, but instead throws a tune. On the right, we have a nice little Richie Pinfu Tanya Dora 2. So I think you just call down for Tanya Dora 2. Always good across the way. There's our
Home.
Haku. There's our call. But across the way, it'll likely be a Pinfu. Definitely needs that 7-pin fill. And on the left, well, kind of Ryankon everywhere. And then that ugly 258 mon shape.
Kang.
So it's one of those hands that can get better quickly, but isn't there. Oh, Con for flow. And that's going to give 6 mon as the new Dora indicator. Now that hand on the right has 3 Dora.
Yeah, Greg, not a player to shy away from the con. Definitely plays for big hands. Wins a lot of big hands too. Notably a Suanko to get out of the relegation zone temporarily, or at least move himself in position to escape relegation.
Yeah, and talk about the standings overall. Stanley, of course, just basically cruise control at this point. He can do almost anything he wants. Julian is playing for just a few more positions. He get, I don't know, plus 40 out of this series. You feel very good about getting to A2 next season. Jay and Greg, though, of course, first and second out. So you really want to at least hold your position. Now, you will note there is something extra on that board, and that is Edwin has played 23 games. It's actually 22, but he subbed in another division, and that's why it shows up as 23.
Yes, but despite that substitution and the game number being wrong, the score is definitely correct. And here's that one mon.
Might come
Oh.
right out, and there it is. One Montonki is going to be good enough. Just the 2,000 points out of it, but not going to complain about that hand. Was looking for the Chanta upgrade, but never got there. Still a win as a win. Has a decent hand here. Tanya, maybe you've got that 1-1 pin. You have a couple pairs. You have 3 of them here. Like 2-pin may force you towards Ipeco, but you figure you just play it normally and see what happens. 4-mon's nice little connection there. On the right, I mean, it's not terrible, but it's bad. Ryankon, Kanchan, Penchan, and maybe a floating Shaw door you can't really use. Across the way, Chun. Well, okay. Pull the third Chun and a floating Dora. Ideally, you just go to Tonki, calling 7 Mon and then 4 out of the 2 or 5 pin to fill out that 3-4. And on the left, probably a Pinfu hand, but definitely needs the 7 so to get that together.
Yeah, that 5 mon drop moves Jay into Ishanten, but you really don't want it. You really want the West for the value. So we'll see if Jay chooses to cut the 5 mon pair later, or the penchant maybe. Do we
We're about to
con?
see what happens right here.
Con.
I think you have a by far. Oh,
Eats.
that's a huge con into Ricci. Ricci Chun.
Dora 4. That was
And all of a sudden the table goes, wait a second. That's a Dora. Uh-oh.
That's the best possible result for that con. You filled the best shape, the penchant. You flipped yourself for Dora, and you're reaching now. You forget the West. You've got all the value you need.
Exactly. And realizes, ooh, shiny button con. Oh, wait, that's for Dora.
Oh, this is Tempai for Greg.
Oh, and this is probably going to be a chase here. This is Tanyao.
Yeah, drops
Will
the 8 pin.
Dama for now, waiting on 3-pin Forso.
So 4
There are a
tiles.
lot of upgrades with this shape.
Currently,
The
4
problem
tiles.
is, especially in pin, they're all going to be Flurry 10.
Oh. Only 2 tiles for Greg versus 4 for Jay. West is safe.
So we haven't even talked about the 2-5. Let's see, how is it? 3 left?
Yeah, 3 now. Stanley did draw one of the 5 pins. Stanley's hand looked like it could have been good, but you don't want to fight against this.
Well, if you have the goods, you can, but uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, Stanley also may be disincentivized. Just say, I don't care. I'm going to shove it anyway if he gets the tempai here.
Yeah, that playing the Nakasuji. Well, I guess the Formon came out on the left, so it was fine. It might have to be 7-6 now. Goes with the 6-pin. Oh, the 4 comes out.
동,
Deals into the Tanyao. Could have gotten more points from that if you'd reaching, but we'll pick up the 3,300, 23 plus the Ricci stick.
And yeah, Greg
And that's a
fighting.
Hatsu pair and a Dora here. Pretty decent hand, especially if you go Dora Tonki here or pair it up yourself. Always preferable on the right. That's a pretty decent hand there as well. A Ricci Pin Futanya, maybe Peiko. Across the way, likely to be Ricci Nomi. There are going to be some shifts around. That's the type of hand that you can play around with to get a lot of different directions. I do not like the 2-pin cut at all. I definitely throw the Chud there. Because, like, I don't even hate just going Tanya with it. Because you saw this Penchon, the shapes aren't great. And now, even here, like, what are you doing? You could even have 4 pairs for Chitoy. It's not ideal, but that's something. Because what are you looking at now? It's going to be Ricci Nomi if you're keeping this Penchon.
But think about how great the tune was in the last hand. Surely this hand too. Oh, never mind.
Well, yeah, just draw 3 more of them, except for the fact that one was already cut. On the left, a few pairs there, but nothing really much. You're dreaming of 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku, but honestly, the hand just feels really slow. Oh, well, just fill your bench on. But still, it's that Ishanten, and you're almost always reaching Nomi. You're looking for an upgrade, maybe 6 so.
Yeah, we'll see how long Julian holds this Hatsu, because it looks like he might be moving the direction of a Honitsu in the Sozu. Certainly has the blocks for it. Could cut the Hatsu and hedge
홈,
all the shapes and Chinitsu if necessary, but that will give Greg the open hand.
Yeah, Greg is now headless to Shanten.
It's gonna be a little bit tricky for Greg to play this because if he advances one more Shantan, it becomes efficient to drop the Dora, but that's where the
Oh,
value
well,
is.
Jay fixes his problem. You just cut the 8 so, I think. Yeah, there it goes.
Here we go, Greg.
Oh, boo. Boo. I mean, it is by far the most efficient cut, but I wanted the Doritanki.
I think Julian might call this one. Oh, he lets it go and draws another
Oh,
Sozu.
just draws the 5 himself.
홈,
Now he's just going to go for it.
Yeah, this is gonna be. It needs 369 essentially.
That is Tempai, but ew.
Oh, it comes right out.
동,
Oh, okay. Well, just get it to come right out. That fixes the problem.
Of course,
And with the 2 home, but it's not a terrible hand. They're 2,100 points. We've seen a lot of really cheap wins.
yeah, those cheap wins add up as dealer.
Yeah, East 1, Homba 3, you've won every hand, and it's still only 37-4.
I think Greg has been in a lot of games, more than average number of games that have had like 5, 6 Homba, either on the winning side or somebody else racking it up. I remember seeing at least 3 Greg games that had 5+ Homba.
Well, has a pin fu type hand here, maybe some sort of 678 or 79 Sonshu later on the right. Look for that Apeiko. The 7 pin would help immensely. But other than that, the shapes are a bit annoying. And now that 8 pin's a really awkward draw. How do you even play that now?
I wonder if he works towards. I just throw it back.
I'd throw 1 so, honestly.
I was gonna say I wonder if you play for Tanya, and he ends up cutting the 9 pin. I think I would have also
Yeah,
once
I don't like that at
so.
all. I think you have your 2 pairs here, but when one of your pairs is this closed Onko, I don't really mind losing the 2 so acceptance that much for the flexibility of both keeping my Peiko and my Tanyao. But across the way, possible Itsu there. We'll also like to fill that Penchon 1-2 pin on the left. Probably just a Pinfu hand, but the 2-2-4-7-7-9, not ideal in Pinzu. Plus you have the 5-7 in Mon. Of course, if you set Dora, that'll fix your problem. Speaking of fills, there's Jay pulling a 3 pin.
Into Ishan
Technically Ishan 10 now, looking for that 7 so for Ricci Pinfu, and then either Dora or not.
Jay has been quite good at filling Penchon, specifically on the 7.
Speaking of Dora, there's one drawn on the right.
2 away is Stanley. But Julie on the left also wants a Dora to fill that shape.
Ooh, 4 Mon. That's an interesting draw. It's just going to go headless at this point. I feel the 1 so just should have left this hand ages ago.
Yeah, I mean, you could have hedged a lot of things still dropping the 1 so the time you get your Tino, you get your 3/5 Sanchoku, you get all those things, and you only lose the 2 so. But inevitably, Stanley's going to draw the 2 so and prove us wrong.
Yes, that is how this works.
Okay, 1 so is finally leaving.
Okay, there it goes. Well, it's probably going to be Tino. They could just draw the 1 Mon now. That'd be how that tends to be. Ishan 10 for dealer. Could call here for a super wide tempai. Maybe what, 5-sided, 4-sided? 4-sided, I think.
Yeah, you get the 2-5-8 and the 7.
Right.
Well, that's not the pair that Stanley was probably thinking about.
Well,
but...
you just got the 7 and the 3 now.
Yeah, it's a pair.
Now, there's an argument to just chi the 7 because it's so hard to use, but what do you think of chiing the 7 with the 6-8? Because I definitely would have done that.
Yeah, that's viable. There's the 2 so, finally. Took long enough.
Like, yeah, I could have used that, I don't know, like years ago.
Well, it didn't help Jay's ended up holding 3 of them. Jay's
This
got
should be 2 pin. Yeah, there it goes. So you're looking for your Sanchoku upgrades. 3, 4, 5 is possibly draw 3 so across the way for Jay. You just get to the 9. Then you have Tanya Sanchoku.
Greg has been like waiting for the monster Ricci to come out, but might be regretting passing up that 4 pin because it hasn't gotten there. Still Yishanten, despite being so wide. Everyone's struggling to find Tempai, honestly.
Oh, well, now you have Sanchoku the other way. 4, 5, 6 is now pretty locked in. You just call now. Well, that's a Dora draw, and off it goes. Oh, well, that's a fill.
2 so.
I think you Dama. You have to Dama. It's the last turn. But that 6-mon just came out. If someone gets greedy here, I don't think it comes out. Yeah, but this should be a Tempai call. I can't imagine you'd pass this.
Yeah, 4 pins, pretty good.
And 2 players Tempai. Greg never gets there, regretting not calling that 4 pin.
Yeah, it does come out of the dealership with a lead, though.
All right, Stanley's dealer here. This feels like a 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku, and maybe some sort of Chanta Junshan, but with that 1, 2, 4, 5 makes that less likely on the right. Couple pairs, kind of floating everything. Hand's not great, but it's just a whole bunch of floaters. Across the way, a few pairs, just play Ricci. Dora 1 is probably the normal thing to do there. There are some upgrades to Toy Toy, potentially. On the left, Haku Onko, and can accept a Dora there. That's actually Ishanten. Need 2 so and then 5, 8 so.
2 so being the tricky one, the door indicator only has 1 left in the wall. I guess if you get Tempai, though, you might just...
Well, you'd rather just draw another Dora and get rid of that dumb 1 so.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if Greg will just smash... Oh, wow, this is an upgrade.
Oh, well, that fixes that problem.
Nice 3-mon fill, but still a lot of work for Stanley here. Eyes up 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku, though. And depending on the draws, could work towards 2, 3, 4. Oh, we'll
Oh,
just...
see, there's the door I was talking about. Easy game.
He's getting all of the upgrade draws here. At this point, with a Haku, can call the door if it
I
ever leaves
see
someone's hand.
this. Oh, wow. And doesn't Chien is rewarded immediately. Pulls in
Ishanten.
the Dora Sanzo.
But now 3-pin's
Now
getting hard.
Ishanten for Richi Sun Shukudora 1 on 3-pin. But that 3-pin is just dying. Because I don't really ever see it coming out of Julian's hand. 5-pin's the normal cut here. That way you can hedge door acceptance of that 5-so, but it's also not a tile you really want sitting around. So there's nothing wrong with just getting rid of it. And Tempai across the way. Will Dama waiting on the 1-pin. Khan!
Shaw new door, but that's not relevant
Useless.
here.
There is one on the right for Jay, but I can't imagine him ever actually using it. That was the safe tile. And out it goes. You feel really bad about cutting that Shaw pair now.
Could Chi for Tempai if he's afraid enough of these other hands?
I think you have to. At this point, uh-oh. Wait, no, that wouldn't deal it. You're fine.
The thing is, he might just be off of this Sanchoku now because the 3-pin's dying.
Yeah, that'd be understandable. Also interesting cutting the 6-mon earlier, but we have a Chun Tonki wait across the way for Richi Dora 1. And that's going to be a chase. You have to chase. That's safe. You just got the 4. You can even Dama here, and is going to do so. Waiting on 9 months and then 3-so. The Shampone. 3-so is dead. There is one 9-mon. Chun has 2 left in the wall.
1 versus 2. 2 in Julian's favor. Oh, Suji trap created.
But now the Suji on that 9. Like, I don't even hate Sumagiri Richi there. And Stanley's had enough of this.
Yeah, that 2-so draw is terrible.
Although now the 5-so comes out, and you feel a little worse about it. But even so, 1-3 is very common here.
Although, I guess he can see all the 1s, so... 2-so's actually
1,
really
2.
safe.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, 2-so's pretty safe then. 5-so is safe. There it goes.
Sumo.
Reach Sumo. Dora 1. See if the Khan helps, and we get an extra Dora, but that was the normal Dora, not the Khanura. Will be a Mangan for Julie, and that's going to take first place now. So all those wins by Greg, and first place is already gone.
Jay now in the dealer's seat. These 3 Dora in hand.
Possible 789 Sanju looking very good here, and a Dora in the hand on the right. Kind of a pin foo, but the 158 in pin not great, so kind of hoping to connect some floaters. Across the way, 8-so Onko. The Mon shape needs a little bit of work, but you gave Phil save with a 7-mon or a 3-mon, and looks a lot better. On the left, I think you just go Tanya. You have that 1-3, but with everything else, I think you just go Tanya. Could even hedge towards Onitsu.
Nice fill for Craig. But still some work to do.
Yeah, the question of greedy you want to be towards Itsu, and is going to go for it.
Boom.
Yeah, gives up on the really nice floating 5-so. There's the 6.
Well, even that, I definitely dislike throwing the 6. You could keep that 8-8-8-6 shape and just use it as a pair waiting on 6-7.
Well, now...
Oh, just draw the pair yourself. That makes the game easy. Ooh, 9-mon cuts. This is going to be Tempai likely on 8-mon, 5-mon Shampon. Those Suji Shampon are never fun. Oh, there's the 7. And now you're going to see that 5, 6, 7 on the pawn. You're always sad when that happens. Ishanten on the right needs 1, 4, and 5, 8-mon. Speaking of 5-mon, pulled in there by dealer. Jay getting a little closer, but the 8-mon still doesn't really fit in this hand. And there's our Tempai across the way. And this 8-mon, which doesn't fit in, they actually win here. We'll see if Jay wants to chase this down. Tempai on the right, 5, 8-mon. Oh, there's the Sumo! So the Chi, okay, ignore me apparently. Just draw the last out in the wall.
That's all it
But he is
takes.
not a Patsu because of the chi. Just sumo. We say it all the time. Well, Julian here, still in first place. 456 Sancho looks pretty good to me. On the right, now that's a starting hand.
Zishan.
Ishanten, Farici, Pinfu, Dora, although you have two Dora, so if you connect something else with, like, say, 9mon, you just got 3-pin, 3-pin. Across the way, couple pairs, but around con hell with that 1-1-3-5-7-9 pin. I hate those shapes. And on the left, non-pair, Shaw pair. You're looking for Hughes to go Honitsu, and it's kind of there, but it just feels like it'd be Chant Honitsu at the best if you do open like that.
Yeah, and
And
then
we see he just gives up on the Shaw. It's dead now.
you're also losing the opportunity to use the door if you play for that. So
Yeah, but like, is the door ever gonna fill? And is this hand ever finishing closed?
yeah, it is. It is pretty far away. That 1-3-5-8-9 is just really rough.
Yeah, it's so bad. Like, I want to be able to call the two. Of course, Stanley's sitting here going, I sure hope someone wants these twos.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing when you're collecting a bunch of tiles like Onkos. Um, thinking about how difficult it's making other people, how difficult it's for other people to use shapes that need those tiles. And if someone looks like they really need something in that area, you can maybe fight against them a little bit more than you can against other people. He shot 10 for Stanley, though. A Kutsuki situation here, the 9-pin and the 3-pin. Some draws give pretty good tempis, other draws not so hot.
And Greg looks at it, is there a way to turn this into two door? And the answer is not really, not without a huge efficiency yet.
Yeah, it really just needs the 5-mon. That's the only easy path.
Well, if you get 5-mon, you just smash the button.
Right.
You need another 6-mon or a 9-mon.
Like the 5, you can just drop the 3 and have your 2 door with Pinfu. Oh. Julian might.
Oh, bit unfortunate there for Stanley. There's been a handful of backfires with that 4-7 in the pond right now.
I wonder what you're losing cutting the 3-pin there.
Well, the 3-sided weight, of course, but not that much. The 2-pin you don't even really want. Well, it doesn't matter. You're just going to slam the button here. And there it goes. Richi Nomi or Richi Ipeco. The 7-pin has 2 left. The 4-pin has 3 left. And poor Greg has been sitting here in this shape from all the way back on turn 1. Just has not improved whatsoever.
It goes so far as to cut 3-pin 3-pin instead of this Hatsu.
Well, Hatsu's once cut. My guess is didn't notice that was the discard on the left. Because I tend to do that too. I often miss the first discard, especially with the value honor.
Chi.
I see a Chanta play here for Jay.
I guess
Oh, wait, no, that's just K10. I thought that was a 1-2-3. But calls the 3-4-5. Just looking for K10.
That does shift the draw away from Stanley, though.
Yeah, so works out at least.
Greg is back to Ishanten, and if Julian pushes...
Yeah, Hatsu pair up. Would have to throw the Dora, though.
Yeah.
And just with how he's been playing, I doubt it.
Yeah, not in this hand.
Could see a Chi cut 1 so. I'm surprised. Because I think I'd always make that Chi. Plus, you also don't want Stanley getting Haite.
Yeah, we'll see. I misses.
No.
JJ got the 1 chi that he needed. Avoids the Tsumo there. And Stanley will pick up 3,000, which is, probably the same value as the hand anyway.
All right. Well, we're going to move to South Round now. Greg is dealer again. This just looks like Tanya Dora 2. You don't have to think hard with a hand like this. You just hit buttons. On the right, few pairs. You have the Dipeko and Mon. The rest of the shapes aren't great. Maybe just call down for Tanya. It's a bit of a mess. You have 1300 in the middle. Did we freeze?
We did freeze. I'm gonna get a refresh in. It looked like fairly standard hands for the other two players, though. We'll see how things have changed.
Yeah, across the way, definitely a standard hand. Nothing fancy there. So may push toward Dipeko, but that's about it. Hand on the left, though, much better. That's close to a Tanyawi Peiko. 3-pin would really help that hand. 7, so of course would also help the hand.
And if you don't get the 3-pin, you can just...
You have to cheat that 7. Yeah, that's the perfect tile to come, because that fixes your overlap shape problem.
Yeah, looking good for Greg with 2 Dora.
Ooh, 5-pin. So this is an E-shunted. Which one do you want to take? Takes the greedy one, not the efficient one.
Yeah, but this does also allow you to open your hand and bail out with the Tanyo.
And oftentimes that's good enough. Oh, well, okay.
Ooh.
Just cut the...
Okay, sticking with the greed.
Okay. Going for the... Definitely wants to see Peiko. Is reading this 3 is good in the wall. And punished.
Oh, it was good in the wall, but
it was there, but you didn't get it because there was a chi. Your tile got stolen this time.
Yeah. Greg only more efficient now. Gonna have to give up on something, though. Actually, was that 6?
Ew. 1-pin's back. I mean, I think you hold it, but ew. And the problem here is if you draw the 2-mon, you have to take the Peiko because the Intotsu is Furry 10. And we're kind of in that midpoint of the hand where everyone's like, someone's there. Someone has the goods. The answer is no. No one has the goods. A lot of people are kind of close.
Yeah, I mean, Greg hasn't really gotten anything useful from Julian to call. Hasn't drawn anything himself either. Here's that, too.
Well, there's Tempai. I would just slam the button and throw the 1-pin. Will Dama here and gets the tile to come out, but it's Tanyawi Peiko. Does get 2,900 and extends the lead. I wonder if it would have come out with Ricci. I think, well, yeah, the 3 so is going to get capped, so I think it may have come out even if you'd Ricci'd.
Yeah, I suspect Greg plays very aggressively on his dealership, so I think it would have.
All right, Stanley has not much here. You have a Dora, decent shapes, but nothing fancy here. Likely be Ricci Dora 1, maybe a Pinfu later if you end up cutting the pay pair on the right. Haku pair up, nice shape in so, decent shapes everywhere else. 3 Mon would be realized instead of draws 3 so, which does still connect to that hand across the way. Kind of a Pinfu hand, maybe to Peiko, but with that 1-2 that doesn't really fit in this hand, and then the 3-5-5-6-6 in pin, you're kind of wondering how you're going to play it. That 6-mon will fill very nicely, though, on the right, or on the left, rather. Chun pair, and that's actually Ishan tank. You just call and go for Chundor 1. Needs the 7-pin. Words are hard.
I wonder if this is the excuse Greg is looking for to cut 8-9 pin. It does indeed make that decision.
Seems to be the play.
Yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily a Tanyo shift in the future, but like 7-mon.
Boy, Stanley's hand is really bad.
It's so bad.
We have Tempai on the right for Jay. The question is, will he take it? I don't mind just cutting 3 so. I don't ever like just cutting 7-pin there, because I like the Kuski Shunten a lot more. And if you draw the 4, like, I wouldn't mind just slamming it and taking the 4-10 Ricci where one of your sides is Dora.
I mean, even here, Jay could also draw the 4 and slam a 50-10 Ricci. It's like a Kutsuki holding the 3 so instead of the 7-pin.
Yeah, but like if we draw,
we're gonna find
then
out.
Yeah, see, this is the problem. I would 100% Ricci 3 so here.
I'm on board with that.
I imagine Jay's who could have sumo. He's tempted though. You can tell he wants to.
He wants more than just sumo Dora. But...
Yeah.
I mean, it turns out that all the remaining Dora were held. The 9-so had one in the wall, and I didn't get a good read on the threes, but it was a rather low chance even with Samanchan.
Yeah, and that's if you're going to take that shape and not go back in Shunten, you really need to take that sumo. So that's why I wouldn't do it in the first place. I'm always an advocate of if you're going to be greedy earlier rather than winning your Tempai. But dealer here has a nice hand developing towards Tanyao Sanshoku with the 6-7-8. We'll need to connect some of that 8-mon, but hand's looking pretty good on the right. Chun pair, that's Dora. A few other pairs could even end up Chitoy off of this. Across the way, South pair, and a Fildy Peiko that's actually Ishan 10 already. Needs 8-so 7-pin. And on the left, the other 2 Chun Dora. So good luck with that.
How many times have we
And
gotten to Greg's hand and looked at it and said, "Oh, that's just Ishanten"?
well, he hasn't filled all of them. That's been kind of the problem.
Yeah, the Mochi Mochi with Julian and Stanley. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
In some situations, whoever calls first probably loses.
Gee.
The problem is Julian has a huge incentive to just go stay closed and go Cheetoy, but instead just says, we're going to go for it. Interesting calling the Tuso. Of all of the things in this hand, gets rid of one of the stronger shapes. Probably reading the 1-so is likely to
Yeet.
come out fairly soon, but this is going to be Tempai for dealer. Richi Tanyao. You could wait for Richi Nomi waiting on the 2, but I don't think you ever do that. This may be a pawn into 8-mon.
Instead, let's pass. I think
Instead, we'll take the 2 safe tiles. In first place, I strongly agree with just passing.
right. This is very on brand for Julian's playstyle, I think, as well. We will try to fight, but not recklessly. And against Dealer Ricci, oh, there's the 2. Against Dealer Ricci,
There's you 2.
it's a little closer to being reckless. But if Julian gets the Chun, it's not going to happen. But if he were to have gotten the Chun, I think he would probably shove a little bit.
Imagine shoving when you have Dora pawn. And looks like Greg's kind of giving up on this hand too, not cheating that 2.
Yeah, Greg has been really trying to keep his hand closed, but now it might just be bowing out.
Richi.
Oh, Stanley got there.
Well, that's Tempai. 1-4-7. Whole bunch of tiles, but most of them are being used actually. 7's dead. 4 is 1 left. 1 is 1 left.
It also means Jay is more likely to deal in than Sumo.
And that 4-pin is now double roan.
I guess I should say as likely to deal in as Sumo. There's one of each tile. In the wall.
Julian does not really know what's safe here. Just praying the suit to your pass. He's seeing a long delay on these discards.
6-so is a big win. That gives you this 6-so and maybe the 3-so as well.
Yeah, and that
Sumo.
time didn't take well. But there's our Sumo. Ricci, Sumo, Dora 2.
That's huge for Stanley. I mean, he's in contention for first now.
Yeah, and then jumps to the second place, and we're in all last. And unfortunately, on the other end, Jay will drop to fourth, or make that fourth even worse now, because of course there the Sumo is going to make things rough. Dealer here would really like to pull in that 7-pin Dora for probably a Ricci Dora, maybe Ricci Pinfu Dora. Also going to hedge all these Yakubai, try and call and go. But honestly, if you're Julian, you don't mind just the game ending. Especially if you're in first here. You'd love a big first just sitting where you are in the standings, but it's a series, so you have a long way to go. On the right, probably just Tanyao. Honestly, getting 1,000, not necessarily bad for Greg. Where Greg is, he's kind of in the same situation, would just be fine with this, and especially with Jay taking this big fourth potentially, they get Greg out of the demotion zone, just getting a ±0 out of this. Across the way, Stanley has a Tanya type hand. There goes the penchant cut. So he'll probably just call for it. And on the left, Ricci Pinfu, Tanyao maybe. Yeah, Ricci, Tanyao, and then Adora ideally. looking for something to connect that 6-pin. 7-pin would be ideal, of course. And the rest of the shapes aren't bad either.
Oh.
Like, I like that hand a lot. But if you're dealer and you just pull that 7-pin Dora, fill your Kanchan, and now you're in a super whitey Shunten.
Yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of options. Because of that Anko, you can just pair up the 4-0, 6-0. It's not as bad of a shape as it
Well,
typically
that's what you
is.
really want to do. You don't want to necessarily draw like 8-mon. If you pair up that 4, 6, oh, well,
Okay.
okay,
Skip
you
king
just
for
reach the
two.
6, don't you?
The one mod
You
for
go, yeah, the 1, yeah, of course. Riichi, Pinfu, maybe a Peiko.
Dora. I mean, this is a Mangan potentially. This is a Mangan on the 5 itself.
Interestingly, though, that 6 would have been an interesting play here. Wait on the 4-7, which actually isn't that bad.
相撲
But instead, going to take the valuable hand and gets the cheap end, but will be Sumo Riichi, Sumo Pinfu Dora 1. And the Aura, and that's going to be Julian getting a huge boost here. This is the type of score he's looking for to try and climb those ranks. Probably not catching Kaz at this point, but you could definitely jump past Hanley and into third place, which would be a guaranteed promotion spot, at least for now.
And Julian with
Gee.
interesting hand. I'm more interested in the hand on the right though. Stanley's Tempai though.
We have Tempai across the way, so I honestly don't think it matters too much.
Yeah, Greg like first draw filled a second dragon Anko, but it's Ottosuke for Stanley needs the South, and
They would not get him over 30K, but he's fine with the second, especially where he is. He just wants the game to end.
Right.
If I'm Stanley, this is perfectly acceptable. Minus 0.2 is what this would be. If it's Subo, minus 0.1. Where are these Souths?
I guess Sumo puts you over.
No, it's 1100 plus 300, so no.
Oh, I guess it's just 10, isn't it?
Yeah. Maybe 29.9, not good enough. Well, there's our South, but that's going to be held at least for a while. I imagine that will eventually come out, though. The question is, will Jay be able to fill a hand in the meantime? And go ahead and cuts the penchant off. And Dealer gets the perfect draw into perfect D-Shunten. And Jay's going to try and call, salvage some of the damage here. As I said, this is a series. You have a lot of games to go, and these will be playing each other, especially with Jay and Greg are kind of in a fight with each other.
Right, good
Shunten on the right, 5-so would be amazing, and then you'd probably sweat on that non-donkey.
Yeah.
What you really don't want.
Uh-oh.
Oh no! And Stanley draws the wrong end of the Otozuke, and it's like, what do I do now? And you can see just the immediate hesitation of, oh, you pulled it, you cut the 4. I guarantee he's screaming right now. He is so bad.
That timing is insane. And Stanley was looking to shut down the hand. We'll need to shut it down in a slightly different way.
Could actually chi this to get out of Furry 10. We'll wait on the 2, and the 2 might come out. Not yet, though.
Yeah, Stanley will almost assuredly pick a different way. Ooh, here it is, Tempai.
Tempai on the right, we have Menhon Haku Hatsu waiting on 5, so there are 2 of those left in the wall. And now we see a 3-mon across the way. Is our Tempai, the Flesh Tanki, and that is Furry 10, so not going to take the upgrade, quote unquote. Could switch to a 3-so wait. There is only one of those left, so I think you just throw it back.
Uh-oh.
And there's the 5. Oh, no. Oh, there's a huge deal in. It's just going to be the Mangan, though, so it's only going to drop into third place. But Greg salvages quite a bit out of this game with that Menhon Haku Hatsu. And Julian, though, the big winner here, 34.6, doesn't get the plus 20 Uma because Greg getting that big hand there on the end with 8.4 will get him out of demotion. Stanley taking minus 14.8 will drop a bit, but he has more than enough cushion. That's not a problem. And Jay will be fourth there. Minus 28.2 will drop into the demotion zone just above Edwin right now.
So essentially, the result of this game was Greg and Jay exchanging places, Julian climbing, and Stanley just kind of chilling at 200 points.
Stanley's someone who often complains about his bad luck, and I'll say he definitely got sabotaged there because drew the wrong end of the Otsutsuki, and then the knot immediately came out, and later drew the Tonki that he could have kept. It would have been 4-8-10, and then deals into that Menhon Dama.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if the Chuso overflow, because it was a Katagiri from Greg, might have signaled for Stanley to start being cautious of the Sozu.
Yeah, and that's something that I think Stanley should have been picking up on because he knows better, but he may just be lazy. Plus, just doesn't care that much considering his current standings. But he's going to look at the log and probably ask, "Why did I do that?" But they already jumped into game 2 here. We see a Haku call on the left for possibly Honitsu, and dealer here with 3 pairs, not too much else in his hand. On the right, probably a Pinfu hand, and that's a nice little fill there. Won't actually be Pinfu without a bunch of shifting because it will be a bad weight. Across the way, Shaw Onko, that is Yakuhai, and nice little draw. You have pretty established shape at this point. You'd love the 6-7-8 Sanchoku, but honestly, it's probably just call and go. And then on the left, we mentioned the Hakupon is now kind of giving up on Honitsu. Needs 2-5-8 pin.
Yeah, discard pattern is probably going to be this 8 mon, 4 mon, and then either 2 mon or 1 mon, depending on what comes out. Like, here. It could be tricky for Jay to put something together. It looks like he wants to move this in the direction of Tanya, given that Greg is opening up so rapidly. Has to get rid of this 9 mon and Shun to move it in that
Well, we
direction.
can see what's about to happen. The discards of the 2, 4, 6, 8 mon consecutively. Always fun. And by fun, I mean I hate it when that happens.
Yeah, players might be suspicious of that, outside the fact that Greg's already called the one.
It does look very toy-toyish.
Yeah.
When you do this.
Oh, nice fill.
But on the other hand, if you have a hand like that, you just hit the button. Riichi Pinfu is good enough, waiting on 6-9, so. This will be Tempai on the left, waiting on 5-8 pin. Oh, just sumo. Riichi Patsu Sumo Pinfu.
Should Stanley have conned Reiki Patsu? Only the well. Only
may not
will
have been the best idea here. And of course, the con would only break Ipatsu. It wouldn't actually stop anything. It doesn't actually change the draw order. And Julian, after that win, is dealer here with a Tanya type hand, especially get that 6-0. Pretty good shapes altogether. On the right, Doko. It's just Doko.
Outside of the 1 pin held by Julian, yeah, it's live.
And across the way, very nice hand though. Look at that 4-5-6 Sanshugu. And on the left, would really like to fill that Penchon 3-so, but this is one of my 2 least favorite shapes. The 1-2 where the 3 is the door indicator.
Jay now building pairs.
Oh, well, so you know I said it was Doko. What about like Suonko instead?
Suonko Doko. Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Stanley needed
and
Jay.
This is just cheat toy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna play it as cheat toy at this point. And honestly, with those shapes, that's the way to do it. Should be 3 pin. There it goes.
Yeah, no surprise to see the 2 still coming out. Anything near a door is probably gonna be a little tricky to find. That's an interesting draw. Maybe 9 mon for Greg.
Well, there's our cheat toy on the left. We'll just go ahead and Riichi this. You do have the Suji Trap 9, but at the same time, that late 8 asks you, wait, why did that 8 still sit in that hand?
And a lot of times you cut a 6 from an 8-9-9 shape when you're Ishan.
Right, 6, 8, 9, 9 is often the type of hand you'd have. But now that this Dora came out, that actually makes the 9 a little safer. Because it were a 6, 8, 9, 9, and then say 4, 4 on the other end, or maybe a Yakuhai on the other end, like Hatsu or Tone, then it would make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just Tempai. I think you just die every time here. I don't know how you get away from this.
I mean, you have Richie Tanya.
You can tell he doesn't want to throw it, but there it goes. No, or else you take your 3200 hit and move on. The unfortunate thing is to your direct competition, as mentioned, Greg and Jay are effectively head-to-head this whole series.
Yeah, at this point, it's really interesting given that Julian took the big win in the first game. It really is the Jay versus Greg battle.
Yeah, Stanley, of course, doesn't really care at this point, just wants the games to end quickly, and Julian is looking to increase his position. But the big fight at this table is between Greg and Jay. And Stanley is dealer here. Probably just Ricci, maybe Ricci Pinfu off this. No value to speak of on the right. Few pairs, not much else. Across the way, that's a nice little Pinfu hand. Ishan 10, I think. No, it's not. That's not an 8. That is a 7. So still needs that 8 to fill in and would then be in a great shape. On the left, we have the Tone pair up and a floating Hatsudora. A couple other pairs as well, but this may just be a call and go.
I wonder if Jay cuts the 9 mon or the 9 pin here. Goes with the 9 mon. Hoping for a 4. Well, if not the 6 mon draw directly, the 4 mon upgrade.
Now, there is the aforementioned call and go. And keeps going. Ishan 10 now needs 2 5-pin and 3 so. There are potential upgrades later to Toy Toy, but you're not really thinking about it from these shapes yet.
Jay with
This probably should be 9-pin.
Yeah, I like 9 pin
Instead,
too.
we'll go ahead and cut the 7-5.
This is Ishan 10, but we lose that on Sanchoku.
Oh, no. You see, you're not seeing the big brain play here.
No.
It's Doko again.
Oh, no. No. That is not live. Although, I don't know if you saw the early game. There's a B3 match where a player had like back-to-back 6 6 mon calls and had the 6 pin pair, Ishanten, and someone paired it up and used as their pair to slam Ricci.
No.
It almost happened.
That's a nice little fill there across the way for Jay. Now you are Kutsuki Ishan 10. Wait, aren't you? Hold on.
It's like
Yes.
summon.
It's kind of weird because the 9 is
no.
connected and yet it's not connected at the same time.
Yeah, the 9 really doesn't do anything in the hand.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything for that shape.
The 5 not super great either, especially with a 50-10 chance. But
So I'm also well, now you just slam it. But I'm
Eats.
wondering earlier if you should have even cut the 1. Like if you were hedging Itsu, I don't mind just holding on to it. We have Tempai on the left as well for Tolnomi with
Sumo.
upgrades to Torture. Oh, just Sumo. Reach Ipatsu Sumo. Oh wait, no, it's not Ipatsu because it was broken. But the aura makes it Mangan anyway.
And now Jay's in the lead, perhaps making up for that 4th place in the last game. Gonna create a neutral series after 2.
All right, Greg is dealer here. Has another one of these pretty good hands. Not much value yet, though, unless you turn into maybe 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku or something on the right. Nice little Pinfu type hand. Not much value yet, but you could accept things near Dora. Could also go Tiny with a 4-mon draw across the way. Couple pairs, but not much else. That's very much a just play it efficiently and see what happens. On the left, we have a Chun pair, and you want to call and go, but the shapes are just so bad.
Yeah.
There's an argument to even just pulling that 5 so and saying, you know what, this hand's irredeemable if I don't just go.
Yeah, Stanley I think he might chi the 3 pin. but 5 so is maybe a bridge too far for Stanley's aggressive appetite. Greg instantly drew the 6 pin, and he thought a while before cutting the 8. Kind of wanted to get a little extra value out of the hand.
Now, Greg also drew Dora and immediately threw it, similar to Julian.
Players have determined that their final shape's not going to involve Dora. Just get rid of it sooner rather than later. Wow, Stanley just draws the 5s.
Oh, okay. Well, that fixes that problem.
His hands all of a sudden coming together. He shunt them.
Now, we still don't know where those tunes are, but if it comes, it's probably you'd call it. Can't imagine why you wouldn't.
And if you're Stanley, you see these Dora coming out super early, you're pretty optimistic about 3-pin being in the wall.
Yeah, like, there's very little... Oh!
Julian draws
But it's
back-to-back
not.
3-pins. It was, it just,
Wow.
it just didn't come to you. Not yet, at least. Still 2 left.
地
Could call the 3, so we'll do so now for the Ishunten. Could be Tempai if you still had a Dora in the hand.
1
But dealer going to be the first to Richi. Tempai, Richi, Nomi, 2-5 mon. But those tiles are pretty well used up. At least the 5s are. Because I can't imagine Stanley ever doing that. I mean, he doesn't actually want to call this. He thinks he wants to call this.
相撲
Oh, it gives the
Oh
sumo.
boy, did I say that or right or what?
Richi
Richi
Tsumo.
Sumo, the extra foo, but no Ura, no Ipatsu because of the call. And what are these starting hands Greg has had?
I know, it's...
Could be Chitoi, could be Toy Toy, could be Ipeiko, Pinfu, could be Chinitsu. That's a starting hand. On the right, kind of a Pinfu hand, a long way to go. Across the way, few pairs, 3-pin would fit in nicely. You know, floating Dora on the left. 5, 6, 7 Sanjiko looks like the plan there.
Yeah, despite these early cuts being fairly innocuous for Greg, they are a little bit suspicious. Because Greg has cut, the tone, double tone, ahead of a 9-pin. And then 6-0, a tile near Dora. The rest of them has to be thinking about that a little bit.
And it's just Chitoi Sean, but doesn't want to take it. And I agree. I don't think you'd take the Chitoi with this hand. And it could end up being Chitoi, just a very different one.
Yeah, Oitsu Chitoi would be a very nice way to pick up 12,000 points.
Yeah, the non-onko there for Stanley.
A little awkward. We do need a pair. Probably gonna cut away from like this 5-7 pin. Or... does give up on the 5-6-7 chance, but
Yeah, if you wanted to keep, you could have also cut 9 mon.
there are worlds. Okay, this is ideal. There are worlds where he draws.
Speaking of ideal, dealer now Ishanten.
Oh
Now
my.
Tempai. With upgrades to Toy Toy should just be 2 mon. There it goes. And if the 1 comes out, you'll have to take it. Well, there's the pair on the left for Stanley.
Still really floating a Dora acceptance here. It has the safe 2 mon to cut as well. Should Tempai be found in the Sozu.
And that feels like a fold there from Jay. Doesn't want anything to do with this hand. Feels dealer is kind of scary, and the answer is yes. That does very much look like a Honitsu, or at least a late Honitsu shift, given the early tone.
Julian drew a pair of Dora, but it might have trouble shoving this 4-bun.
Tempai, but it's Furi-ten, so won't hit the button here.
Yeah, Hootie not
That's
very good at all.
Tempai as well, I think.
It is.
Pay 8-so, and since 8-so is Dora, you just hit the button there. No reason not to.
It does seem like a pretty good weight. Julian might think he's like much with the pay, on the pay with Greg.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if that was the situation. but we can tell that's not it. Could even just slam the Ricci here on the 9.
Sumo.
Oh, doesn't matter, just Sumo. And you do get the extra food because the Onko of the Formon and the Kanchan fill. So it's a nice win for Greg to jump into first place.
Yeah,
Boom.
the Greg versus Jay battle continues, but this time for first and second, not third and fourth.
Now, Greg with a couple pairs, probably going Tanya with his hand on the right. We see the non-Pon. Could go Honitsu, could even go Honitsu Toy Toy, especially pair up that 9-pin across the way. Also has a 9-pin, but throws it out immediately. Just wants the good shapes, doesn't want Dora. I always want Dora. Do you like Dora?
I'm a big fan of Dora.
Generally, yeah, but instead, now you could even go Son Onko route with that hand, and that seems to be the play, at least keeping it open as an option on the left. The hand's probably just going to be Chanta / Junchan, but there's even a Kokushi play, just one's going to take it. With the 1-2-3 actually being filled and the callable shapes, I don't think you necessarily go Kokushi with that, though.
Boom.
Yeah, hedging the 7-pin for the Dora acceptance, but loses the 1-2-3 bond draws.
In the meantime, Dealer going Tanya Nomi, and on the right, Jay going for non-Honitsu.
The Dora would be
Preferably
Mangan.
with the Dora. Speaking of Dora, and see, yeah, like I like Dora, and that's why, is because occasionally they pair up and then you have 2 Dora.
Interesting taking the Shaba weight
Shumple in there instead of the 1-4. I'd definitely take the 1-4 weight. I was like, what's your improvement? All your improvements are Furry 10.
I wonder if Julian
Boom.
pairs up a Sotel field.
And that would have been your 1. Yeah, you should have won that right now, I think. Ishun 10 on the right, and that's what you do with a Dora, is you just keep it and eventually pair it up.
Ooh,
Oh,
pin.
no! And Julian now takes the 4-10. Oh, no, this is a disaster.
Does manage to get that 3-pin out before it deals in, though.
Boom.
Dealer now Ishun 10, still looking for the Tanyonomi.
Oh, and then the 7-pin came out. And Julian's just out. I think I would cheat that and cut the 7 again.
I would absolutely cheat that.
If it's Tempai. It's not really like you can afford to cut these pin tiles, although Stanley's just paving the way in the Pinzu.
Boom.
Tempai for Dealer with this 5-zo that's going to come out from Jay eventually.
Oh, Toy Toy.
Wow, now it's Toy Toy. And the 5-zo is now actually safe. Oh, and the 7 would have been Sumo if you just took the Furry Tentaki.
Finally, Greg drops a tile that Jay can use.
Tempai on the right for... Uh-oh, well, you can't throw that 3. We know that's not going to happen. But Stanley may just not care.
Boom.
And that's going to be the deal in here. And he's going to look at it and go, wait, what? Like, you thought it was probably Onitsu. Didn't necessarily know there were 2 Dora there. And Jay will definitely take that and jump into first by quite a bit, actually. As we're in South Round now with probably just a pin fu type hand here. Maybe a distant 79 Sanjiku on the right. Nice fill there with the 8-pin. Possible Itsu in So. Across the way. Kind of a pin fu hand. Nothing fancy there. Just play efficiently, see what happens. Going to go ahead and float a couple Yakuhai. Try and pair those up and go. And on the left, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, 79 Sanshoku. It's kind of hard to figure out what the hand is yet. It's very much a wait and see.
Well, it has paired up the Hatsu. Can just start to speed along now. Did drop the Dora super early, so Dorataki not a viable option anymore. Stanley's starting to collect some Manzu, though.
Well, that's an isolation 10 there on the left. Would likely be Richinomi, though.
Jay's worked towards Chitoy. You shunt them.
Yeah, 3-pin, 4-pin, and 9-so. That's a nice fill there on the right. Gonna give up on the Sanshku. Go ahead and cut the 8-9.
Yeah, super greedy would be the 4-pin 3-pin cut, but Julian is typically plays pretty efficiently if possible. And
1
rewarded.
And is rewarded for it greatly.
1
1
And now just Rishi Pinfu, and there's going to be a chase. 5-8-so versus 3-6-9-so.
Jay
Just cut 8-pin, 8-pin, or do you get super greedy and start cutting 3-4? Yeah, probably just going to fold out here. And even if you need to push the 7 for Tempai, you can here.
Oh, GG 456 for
Long
Itsu.
pause here.
1
No, goes for the Chiditsu.
Goes for the Chinitsu. And a 2 passes it. And now you're Tempai. Do you dare slam the 7? It would just be Tanyao. Nope. Oh, now that's the ideal thing to take. Question is, which one do you want to do? Do you want to cheat the 2-3-4? Do you want to
Pone.
pone? I don't like the pone. I think you cheat it, and I'd probably cheat with the
1-3.
1-2-3, keep
Gee.
the 2-4 shape.
Well, somehow got Tonki,
Sumo.
and
Oh,
that's gonna
well,
give it sumo.
just sumo. So we have Hanukkah Tonki, but that's not the end. The end is this sumo. Ricci sumo for Greg. Gonna pick up 2 Ricci sticks as well, worth every bit as much as the hand.
It's hilarious. The one mon was all in the wall. It was so live.
All right, Julian dealer here. Looking to pull that Dora in. Could also use a 3-pin for a likely Ricci Dora 1. On the right, couple pairs, nothing fancy of that 3-5-7-9 so shape you like to get rid of, but you do have 2 Dora, so you're looking for some sort of accused to call. I'm just not seeing it yet. Across the way, kind of a Pinfu, boring, regular hand, but just bad. How many Kanchans? What? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a Pinchon? Best hand, though, probably the one on the left. Likely just Tanyao, though, unless you draw, say, 5-so, then that hand becomes pretty good. But even so, you're still talking about the 2-4-6-6-8 Mon and the 3-4-4-6-8. So it's one of those hands that looks great initially, and the more you look at it, the more you just get disgusted.
Yeah, but likely if Jay sees a good call from Greg like the 7.
Well,
So,
plus you're in first. Like you're fine calling down for 1,000 to get rid
right.
of bad shapes. The other problem with a hand like this is you don't have defense. If at any point someone reaches, you probably just die.
Yeah, particularly, Stanley with the 2 Dora, now just drawing pairs. The hand's not getting any better. Speaking of pairs, Jay got rid of the 4, so pairs with the 4-pin and throws that back as well.
There are hands that are more cursed than Chitoy. Wait, no, there aren't.
Well, Jay's hand is getting an improvement here with the 5-so draw.
Yeah, but you already got the 4, so you could just cut the 8 one. That's the normal cut, and there it goes. Dealer now Ishan, 10-5 pins the normal cut. There it goes. 2-so is a shape upgrade. You can cut the 5-7 now. Or you could just cut the 6-pin, which doesn't do anything for the hand right now.
Decides with the 2-6-so cut, the 5-7 not that useful anyway, and decides to shave that off.
Yeah, but at the same time, the 6-pin doesn't do anything for this hand, like anything. And I feel the 6 is better on the wall than it actually is. I'd be surprised anyone has it with the early 4-so cut as well. Like maybe Greg has one, but it doesn't matter. We're going to see
Each.
Tempai here and a Ricci. This is Ricci or Ricci Dora. 2 9-pin Dora, 3 6-pin, and there's one of those 6-pin. So now just 1 6-pin and 2 9-pin. That's going to be a fold across the way. 2 6-pin. So now it's just the Dora.
Yeah, by nature of everyone drawing the winning tiles, Julian's hand has increased in value. Unless Greg somehow pushes this, I don't think Stanley will deal it with a 6. I mean, Stanley is Ishant then for Richidor too, with potentially Peiko. Also, notably, all 4 5-pin are out. Greg pushes the 1, though. And that makes the 1-4 relatively safe, but the 6-9 even worse.
Well, anytime you have that 5 cut, then very often that was a shift from a 3-5 or a 5-7 to a Ryanman. So as a result, 1-4 and 6-9 are always terrible if there's a 5, especially an early 5.
Yeah, like a third turn, fourth turn, 5 is very telling.
Yeah, the 1-4 and 6-9 will always look terrifying to me.
Jay finds 2-mon, 2-mon. Stanley still Ishantan. He needs to push this 8, but it doesn't look like that big of a shove.
Well, there's one of those Dora, so we're just looking for the last 9, and that's not it. So we're going to have one player tempai. Julian closes the gap towards 30K. Again, he's sitting here in a guaranteed promotion spot, but he's not even remotely safe. He can easily be caught even by Joshua down there, even with just 2 games left, can be caught there. And anyone else, Damien especially, -6. Plus 50 over 4 game is certainly doable. But Julian here has a Tanya hand. Not too much else there on the right. Well, that's just Jujitsu. I have to even try and read the shape to say, you know what, we just start calling things. Across the way, non-pair. Probably just a call and go, try and get this hand over with, because I'm just not really seeing any improvements other than maybe door acceptance. On the left, kind of Pinfu hand, maybe some sort of Itsu upgrade if you draw, say, 1-so or 2-so. And there it is. So now I imagine you cut 7-pin or 3-bond. There's the 7.
Chi.
And I would absolutely call this, yeah. Julian just going for the Tanyao. Across the way we have the non. So just going for a quick cheap hand there. Oh, just pair the Dora up. That also fixes problems quickly.
And Jay goes with the East-East cut because it's a dead pair, but
Yeah, it's completely useless here. You could use it as safe tile. You could argue to cut the 3-pin and then maybe hedge towards Honitsu. But instead, just going to go at the tone here for now and give up on it. Well, there's your 1, and now you wish you had that tone. You could have pulled for Honitsu to a 3.
But we do have tempo across the way, Greg. It's called the South waiting for 7-pin, and it's just South only.
Yeah,
but
a 4-7 looks really good right now.
Yeah, with the Ricci stick, with the Homba, you're getting very close to Jay.
Well, there's another pair. Jay actually can play towards Chitoy at this point. You could cut the 8 here and try and lock in the Tanya. Instead, is going to keep this as it is.
Jay Dianchitan looking for like a 1-pin 4-pin for Pinfu, maybe Peiko as well. Just continues to draw pairs though. So
Can't call the 9 though.
Sumo.
Just sumo.
Stanley was starting to threaten as well with the Honitsu, but
it actually does get him into first place by a whole 100 points. Woohoo!
With 2 rounds to go, that's somewhat relevant here. And although Greg has the last dealership, which is also relevant as well.
Yeah, you're not particularly thrilled with that. So basically, just effectively tied at this point. But Stanley's dealer here, and he's in deep 4th. And not getting a great starting end here. Of course, you pair up the Dora, then instantly this is a great hand. If you don't, the hand's going to be a mess. On the right, there is a Dora draw, and we've already seen a Dora discarded. On the right, planning to call the double non, maybe go to our talk eventually. Across the way, 3 pairs, maybe 3, 4, 5 Sanjiku or 4, 5, 6, depending on what comes. And on the left, a whole bunch of So tiles.
Yeah, and for Stanley, it's almost fortunate to see that Haku come out from Greg, because now you're not tied down to this Dora nearly as much as you were previously when you're so desperate for points. Also got the 6-pin improvement to diamond shape, so Stanley's looking a lot better in this hand than the initial high pie would have felt like.
Well, yeah, but it's still likely to be Richinomi even as this.
Yeah, Richinomi still would advance. And you go sumo.
And now you just cut the Dora. It's useless now. I don't like cutting 6-mon there.
Yeah, Stanley hedging value for as long as he can. Sakigiri. 6 mon, 7 so.
Well, Stanley's definitely someone who really believes in Sekigiri, just generally,
Mhm.
and is probably just deciding this hand isn't worth it. But when you're sitting in fourth here, I feel you should just be trying to win the hand as dealer, since it's your last chance. At the same time, Stanley doesn't need points. Even if he takes a minus, what would this be? Minus 35, he doesn't care.
Julian had Tempai, declined to take the Ricci on just the 8 for Ricci
Yeah,
Noble.
just the 8 mon. I'm fine with that. There are a bunch of upgrades, especially when you get Tanyao, Ipeco. And the Ricci no, it wouldn't even get you to 30k in all last. So it's not that useful.
Well, Tanya will
Now
do it.
this you could take.
1
Shabo 7 mon, 8 so. Ricci, Tanya's 26, and there's a 7.
Well, there's one of the last 7 actually.
8 so, of course, still in the wall.
ポン
And there it is. Ricci Tanyao, or would be big, but doesn't get it. Does get over 30k though, and drops Greg into second place. Greg is dealer here with nice shape in Mon 4, 5, 7, 8. Everything else kind of a floater, 6 pin, 4 so, and a 1 so pair. On the right, I don't know. Do you just play regularly? Because you almost want to go Kokoshi, and then you count, and you're like, that's not nearly enough, is it? It's hard to be almost anything, and especially here, do you just wait and try and go Tanya with it? I don't know what you do with that.
Yeah, it's... Maybe just hope that Greg doesn't win a hand.
Yeah, that's probably your best option here. Across the way, Hatsu Anko,
That's
and
Tempai.
ooh,
Oh, no, that's
that
Ishan,
is
Ishan.
Tempai. No, is that?
That's my
No,
bad, it's
it's
Ishan.
Endless Ishanten. It is Ishanten, but
It's
it's
amazing.
a super wide Ishanten. And on the left, 4 pairs. It's probably Chitoy, and
1
Stanley needs value, so he'll probably go Chitoy anyway. So the normal cut here is the 3 mon.
Yeah, I think you have to go for the wide weight and sumo.
Yeah. Not going to be it. It is 369 for Richi Hatsu. I figure you're going to win this hand most of the time.
Right.
And with an Ura would take over second place, would not take over first. Would be 100 points short because there is no home buff.
相撲
There's the Sumo, reach Sumoatsu. See if there are any of those Ura. There is
Misses.
not, so that will instead only be third place. But the winner here is going to be Jay, 24.8. He desperately needed that. The fight with Greg. Greg gets second here, 11.3. Will hold his position over Jay. Julian, 4.7, manages to mitigate some of the damage and actually get a net positive off that couple wins very late. And Stanley takes a big hit here, minus 40.8, but again, has so much buffer, he honestly doesn't care.
All right, let's see. Have these standings updated just yet? They have. So Julian making the most progress. Stanley losing some points. I mean, can't still afford to lose like 80 points. I think we'll still probably be fine. It'll be a little close, but with 6 slots, it will still be fine. So we'll leave this table and keep an eye on it. Of course, there are lots of other games going on.
There's a B3 table. I think we have someone we were looking for, and there's also an A1 table starting in about 10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's look at the B3 table and keep an eye on that.
It says
A1
it started
table.
half an hour ago, so they've been at it for a while. We just haven't had a result yet, so they should be pretty late in the game.
Yeah, in theory, they'll be starting their next game very soon, and if not, then we'll swap over to something else. Let's
All
see.
right, and this is James, Garrett, Michael, and Jongyu.
Is that Michael W?
Yes.
All right. Let me just pull that up. I know one of the names was pretty high up on the list. Oh, it looks like they just finished their game. It's not showing up for me. So let's see what the result was.
Oh, it was a super fast game.
Oh, that
I think she's
means
taking a big break on it because that just took 20 minutes apparently.
okay. That means that they're.
Did they? Yeah, they're on like a 15-minute break then. I don't know what's going on. Are we just going to check the A1 and then switch over if something happens?
I think so. Yeah, I suspect they probably are only playing two then, and that means that we're free to catch whatever match we'd like, including this very interesting A1 that I know you and I both are quite invested in.
Yes, this is Dustin, Alex, Claire, and Minko. They played one game in this series already. I think they're playing one today and probably two tomorrow. Scheduling for everyone's been in a mess. My table probably isn't getting all our games done. We're going to play two Wednesday. And then there's one table that isn't playing anything during the session. We'll have to do everything in the recovery week afterwards.
Yeah, holidays scheduling making things a little bit tricky. Everyone doing the best that they can.
All right, dealer is Dustin with a Pinfu Tanyo Taipan, maybe a 456 Sunsku, also possibly Peiko on the right. That is a nice little Ricci Pinfu Tanyo
리치.
hand there as well. And speaking of Ricci, there we see a 3-so drawn, and that is Ricci Tanyo on 4-7 mon for Minko across the way. Probably just a Pinfu hand, but at this point, not that fast, so probably just going to fold it out. This 4-7 is 3 left in the wall. Dustin may push into this, though. That 4-mon being fairly loose, though.
Yeah, we'll see if Dustin has the value worth just.
Con.
Ooh, con.
Con?
Oh, flips to Dora.
Well,
This is getting
Dustin
spicy.
definitely wants to push now and may just deal right in here. I know he's a believer in the long Suji.
Yeah, does the 5 look any safer? Does start with a 5
Throws
at
the
least.
5 for now. It is Ishan 10 still.
It does indicate though that Dustin wants to take this fight.
Dustin definitely defends his dealership. He will push a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
but goes with a second 5. Doesn't like the upper Monsuji.
Well, a 4 is also now a door indicator, so that's one of those tiles that's now in demand. Oh, well, okay.
It could have justified
But
the 6.
seems to just be hard folding. I think I'd have shoved the 6 there.
Yeah. Like if the 3 deals in, it's a decent chance the 6 also deals. I mean 6 deals into Champon more
Ishan
often.
10 on the right. Actually, a fairly wide Ishan 10.
Oh, Alex has somehow managed to get quite close.
So that Tempai it is if you cut the 6.
Yeah, or
Could
리치.
even cut the 7,
right.
but
It felt like the
Nope.
7 was
and
going to come
does
out.
deal the 7. That's going to be an expensive end. Ricci, Tanya, Aura 2 at least. No Aura, but that's a Mangan. Minko jumps out to the early lead here in East 1 with the result of that con.
Now Alex will have a bit
Alex,
of
yeah, has a long way to go now. Kind of a pinfu hand here. You have the south pair, a south is door indicator, but you're probably end up cutting it. May even just go Tanya with this, just looking at everything. On the right, Chun pair, that's likely a call and go. Across the way, Shaw pair, that may be a call and go, especially considering Shaw is Dora. So Minko with a Dora pair and a Yaku high, potentially. And I imagine Dustin will throw it unless he ends up going Dora Tonki. And he now has a Haku pair as well.
ポン
Claire just takes the pawn, and Claire, of course, is in an
Pawn.
interesting position because she's playing for first. She is playing to win the league. Alex and Dustin are just trying to stay out of danger of anything. They're not really playing for anything at this point. Minko, on the other hand, is sitting there in demotion, is looking to climb out.
カン
ooh, early con. And into Tempai.
Into the 3-sided weight.
Eudora 8 so helps Dustin out a bit, as is typical with cons, but still has a bit to go before we find Tempai.
Sumo.
Not for
Just sumo. Claire will shut that hand down and be dealer here in East 3.
Ooh.
And wow, look at that starting hand. Great shapes everywhere. Ricci, Pinfu, Dora 1. Even has the pair already set up. On the right, Pinfu hand, maybe a Peiko there if you draw a 3 or 6 mon. Across the way, Haku pair, maybe a call and go. And on the left, similarly, could be a Peiko if you draw 2 so or 5 so. Also need to fill that penchant 3 mon. So not that great overall. Best hand by far is Claire's.
Yeah, I mean, when your second turn, Diamond, Ishanten, and now even wider, it's hard to beat.
Not Ishanten yet.
Sorry, Diamond, Ishanten. Like 3 Diamond shapes.
Well, ooh, that's actually a really awkward draw. Yeah, you just cut the 5 there, and if you get the reach, you just cut the 7.
Yeah. But there's super greedy draws with the 8 so as well.
Yeah, if you draw 8, so you definitely get. Well, it doesn't matter. That's actually the cheap end. This will be Richinomi. Apt for Claire, I'd say.
Very. Yeah, a little sad that this gorgeous hand ended up only being Richinomi. Oh, of course.
Oh! Would have drawn the Dora the next turn, but it's normal to just hit the button there.
Yeah, the weight's relatively light, 4 left in the wall, most of them being 1 mon as well.
Which is what you'd expect to win on anyway.
So we'll see how the rest of the table respects the dealer Ricci.
Well, we're about to see, because that's the first one. I mean, the 5 pin's obviously safe. You have plenty of options to fold out. The question is Minko going to push against this?
I think
Or is he
Minko,
just hard folding?
I think we'll try for Chitoy at least.
Yeah, that's going to be the plan. Chitoy, maybe Chitoy Tanya even.
If he gets close, he might end up having to shove this 1 mon, but Alex, will he try to Mawashi a little bit? No, goes through the 3 so. And Justin seems to be respecting this Ricci. Dropping the 8 pin specifically is a pretty good indicator, given that there's a Sancho chance. 6, 7, 8.
And Claire's isn't drawing anything, but there's one of those 4s she was looking for. So 4 is now dead, just the 2-1 mon.
Minko's still hanging on here. 2 so. Maintains Jian Shanten. If he draws, like, you know, both the deal and tails, he'll actually be Tenpai. Now Alex is pretty sure that the Sozu are safe, probably.
Well, the 4 is Nakasuji anyway at this point, so it's either going to deal into Shampon or Tonki if that's it. Might get tempted by Suanko, though.
Oh my.
But it's so late at this point that you
draws.
can't expect it.
Minko has 1 more draw. He could fight Tenpai and deal end. Alright, misses Tenpai, so not going to deal end here. Ryukyoku Claire picks up the 3,000 points from no 10 payments and will maintain the dealership.
And of course, Asuma would have been worth 3,000. Would have gotten the Rishi sick battle, so that would have been the only difference. And has a, I don't know, Pinfu hand, possible shifts to Chanta, but kind of hard to do almost anything with it. I might actually hit Chanta if I do like 2 so. On the right, definitely a Pinfu Tanyo hand, maybe 2, 3, 4 Sanjiku. Andy Peiko now confirmed. So that's a nice hand. Across the way, Hatsu pair and a Dora. Actually, very close now. Definitely needs the 7 so, though. And on the left, 3 pairs and not much else.
Claire did fill the 7-8 diamond with the 9, but now draws a Dora, so... Oh! Instantly
just
throws it back.
And that's... Oh, wow, look at that on the right. Ricci, Pinfu, Ipeiko, possible Tanyao. Just a turn 4 Ricci like that. Oh, no, and Claire draws the deal in tile.
It's tough to fold here. Could go 9 mon, could go 3 so.
Could go 9 pin.
So your
Could also go
options.
1 2 so.
Go.
And yeah, we'll deal here. It's not a Potsu. There was a G.
No Uda either, so.
But the thing is that she did change the draw order. Will deal in, and Minko in excellent position now. 41-8.
Yeah, positioned well, but of course you're never safe with anyone from A1 at the table.
And as another really good starting hand,
Gee.
Minko's had some hands this game. Look for Rishi Pinfu Tanyao here on the right. Haku pair and Hatsu pair. Could even go Honitsu potentially. Across the way, that looks like a Chinitsu play. Just kind of an awkward one. Probably Honitsu with the ability to upgrade to Chinitsu being the plan. And on the left, like maybe that draw push you towards 1, 2, 3 Sanjuku or Itsu, but just
Yeah, it's such a rough hand. And, you know, one of the worst shapes is your Dora shape, so you can't really get rid of that either. Dustin called the Hatsu and immediately cut the Forso, which is pretty big indication that he wants to move in the
he's
direction
definitely going Honitsu. Well, plus it's Honitsu and Dora suit, so. Dealer now Ishan 10 for potentially Rishi Pinfu Tanyao.
something like the 5-so draw could move him towards Itsu, although the 1-so's come out now.
Well, there's a Dora, and out it goes. Okay, I think Dustin's just trying to give up on this hand now. And there's our
Yeet.
Tempai. Richi Pinfu Tanyao now confirmed. 2-5, though, not very good. The 5 is dead, just 2 2-pin left.
Dustin is Ishan 10, could jam an 8-pin, but that's the...
Ishan 10 for Dustin.
You really wouldn't expect Minko to be waiting on the 8-pin with a Dora shape.
Right, you wouldn't expect him to have cut the Dora like that. Or he could just cut the 6-8 now.
Yeah, or 9-so 9-so
But you'd
even.
be facing your own potential for a 10.
Starts with the 8. 9-so 9-so I think is the safest way to get there, but you lose out on the Haku call.
Sumo.
Doesn't matter.
There's a sumo, read sumo, Pinfu Tanyao. And this is the type of game Minko needed. This is actually really bad news for specifically me.
Yeah, this is what I was afraid of. I was playing Minko last session, and Minko just does this sometimes. Just wins all the hands. Drops everyone below 30,000 now.
Yeah, if the game ended like this would be a plus 40 roughly. Would get him all the way out of demotion. And is kind of holding onto this Dora, kind of hedging everything. The Ipeiko, the Chitoi, just the regular hand. Not really Chant, but that's the only thing you're giving up there. On the right, is that a disconnect by Dustin?
Looks like it.
Well, I mean, he threw Sanso, so he definitely disconnected. He
That's
would
so
never
true.
do that.
That is so true. He's gonna reconnect and look at that Sanzo and just cry a little bit internally.
Or externally.
That too.
Across the way, Pinfu type hand. You'd love to pair up the Dora there. 6, 7, 8 Sanjiku potentially. On the left, Ishan 10 now. Likely just reach Inome though.
Yeah, Claire would love to get off of this 1-3 shape and maybe build some more Onkos. Dustin's gonna really struggle with his hand, but I think Alex might be in the best position to, outside of Claire, of course, to fight with Minko.
Now Ishan 10 across the way for Alex could end up going to Ortanki if the 7 pin is drawn. There's Richi the 2 waiting on the Dora.
Of course, Claire's got that Onko of 7-pin, and now Ishanten. What draws move you to Honitsu if you're Claire? Oh,
Well, that's not one of them, but you just threw the 1 so that's actually useless. You throw the 2 back.
yes. Always,
Chitoi Ishan for Minko, and is definitely going to play it that way.
and not really a direction that I expected this hand to go, but with a South Beam Mochi Mochi, it definitely moved that way. Alex got that mega.
Speaking of Chitoi, potentially the same thing for Dustin.
I mean, after dropping Sanzo, I think there's no other choice. There's a 6-pin.
Now that may push Claire to Honitsu.
If she has to open for it, probably less inclined to do so. I mean, West came out once already.
Yeah, it'd be just Bakahon at that point.
1
Oh,
But
Dora
there's our
draw.
Tempai across the way, Richidora too. And this 7-pin is being used. Could just Richie chase it down with the 6-pin.
The 6-pin doesn't feel
Or
that
gets
bad.
super greedy. I imagine she'll just, oh, whoa, greed. And this may be another chase by
Eat.
Dealer here. Gets to Tempai as well, waiting on Told. Richie Chitoy. Oh, wow, it's not Tempai.
We're approaching, Suwanko territory.
Yeah, that is Ishanten for Suanko.
Things are getting really spicy, and that has to be
That's
Tenpai.
Tempai, though.
リーチ
Which weight do you want? Actually, cut the 3-pin?
Yeah, that's 3-sided in the upper side. You could also cut the 6. Yeah, 3.
Waiting on 5, 6, and 8.
There's 1 8. The 5s
Not
are gone.
great.
The
Really
6s are
looking
gone.
for the 8. Question is, where's the tone? Because that feels like it's what's. There's the tone.
Oh, there's the other
Oh,
one.
there's
Don't.
the other one. Richie Chitoy doesn't get the continuance of flow, but will continue rolling this score.
Yeah.
Minko now up to 56-7. And has a Tanyao, maybe Pinfu type hand here. Just a bunch of floaters, honestly. Now you can accept Dora on the right. Pretty good hand here. Possible 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku. And especially to connect to that 4-pin, you can also accept Dora across the way. Again, kind of a Pinfu hand, but the Sankan 2, 4, 6, 8, a bit of a mess. Then a 1, 3, 7, 9, and so not great. And on the left, looking for that 79 Sanshoku, but it also feels a little awkward unless you draw that 7-1 immediately. Now you have a Dora there, so Claire just going to try and play normal, see what happens.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about that pin weight, like whether it was better to take the 3-sided weight in the lower Pinzu or the upper Pinzu. I think the upper Pinzu did make a lot of sense. It's just really unfortunate for Claire that the holo styles were actually paired up.
5-pin, 6-pin were being held by Minko with that Chitoy.
Right. But Minko probably wants to stick with Tanya out here. Already dropped a 9 months.
Yeah, I'd throw it back. You're really hoping to get the 2 Dora anyway, so.
And this feels like Dustin's hand to win. Sitting Ishanten. Actually dropped a pair of 7-mon already. Could be Tenpai. Not a pair of 7-mon, but 7-mon that could have been a pair, and gets Tenpai anyway.
Well,
Eat.
there's Tempai anyway. Not Sanshoku, just Richie Pinfu.
Yeah, you feel really sad if you draw 5, so you miss out on Dora and Sashaku.
Speaking
Eat.
of 5, so there's going to be a chase, but it's going to be
Don't.
Ipatsu. Richie Ipatsu Pinfu. And the Aura, and that's going to get Dustin back over 30k. Minko loses at least a few points there, but still very comfortably in first place. Dustin, though, starts out with a pretty good hand here. Not much value, though, but already Ishan 10. Needs 5, 8 pin and 6-0. On the right, Pinfu hand. Pretty nice shapes. Across the way, Pinfu hand, not so great with a couple Penchan. And a floating Dora. And on the left, non-pair. Probably just pull and go there. Could also go Honitsu. I think you just sell out
Eat.
Honitsu.
Oh,
I'm kind of surprised that the pay came out. Dealer just hits the button here. That's going to be Richie Nomi waiting on 5, 8 pin. The 5s are 3 out and the 8s 1 out.
yeah, drew the 6 so to fill the Kanchan, just slammed
Got
that
the
Richie.
ideal draw, and there's the
Sumo.
sumo. Not Ipatsu, but you'll definitely take it. Richie sumo. No Ura, but doesn't close the gap a little bit more.
Yeah, actually within 10,000 points now.
Oh, look, another great starting end here. And even your junk tiles include a Dora.
Home.
But possible Chanta upgrades here. Pair up that Dora, you could even just cut the 8-so pair, honestly. On the right, Haku pair has been called. See the pawn there also has a Dora here. Could go Honitsu with the 255, 778, and a Shaw Dora Chun, floating Chun across the way. Kind of a
Kang.
pinfu, but hard to fill. Oh, there's a con on the right. 9-pin, the new Dora does give Dustin another Dora, or a first Dora rather. On the left, probably just a Tanyao hand. I'd like to get that 7 so immensely. 4-mon would also really help.
Yeah, we've seen no one really shying away from calling these early Yakuhai calls.
I've said it for a
Cons.
while. A1 meta is con.
Pull
Boom.
here.
This should be
Loses-
you have to pull in that for sure. The question is, what do you do now? Do you just go toy? Yeah, I think you go toy.
lose out on the door.
Oh, well, there's the 8-mon that Minko is looking for. Now you have an interesting decision. You just lock in the Tanya cutting 9 so, or do you cut the 8-mon? Cuts the 8-mon, takes the wider Ishunten. Needs 4 so and 7 so.
That moves you to Tanya.
Ooh, that's an interesting draw. Now you can even pull him for Tempai.
Could we see Doko? 6 Doko?
You could see Doko. Oh, wow. That doesn't actually get you Tempai, but it's super wide. Shape.
It actually gives you a chance at the Doko. And Dustin not gonna drop the 6, is he? For I guess Tanya chance, but
You have to because the 9 is Dora.
exactly.
Boom.
And Pon Tempai.
Pone,
looking
we
for a
could
6-0.
see a Doko here. The 1-6 is being used up, and that's not going to come out from Claire. Question is, will the other one? Actually, it may come out if this ends up being Chitoy.
That's a good point. Claire pairs up to 8-mon.
Ishun 10 for Dustin. Ishun 10 for Claire. You should just throw the 4 here.
Will kill the dreams of Claire dropping that tile.
Ishun 10 for Dustin. We'll cut the 8 so.
Once...
Now you have a potential Itsu upgrade, but you'd be headless if you got it.
16025 so. Tanya no me.
Well, there's your headless
Oh.
Itsu. Wait. Oh,
Just
just takes
slams
the
the
Ricci
Ricci.
Pinfu. That makes a lot more sense. And that's, I imagine, you have to chase, don't you?
No Dora, but you can rely on Udai. Not just drops.
Nope,
9-9.
just going to fold. There's the 1 so. Gets off it. So
Ricci.
1-5, 1-6. There's the Ricci.
Whoa, better way.
That's 3-sided.
Sumo.
Okay. Oh, there's the sumo. Dustin hits the sumo. Ricci sumo. Pinfu Dora 1. Any Ura gets 1 Ura. Of course, that's the regular Ura, not the con Ura. And Dustin's now in first place at 50,000. So Minko is on a roll and still has a very respectable second, but it's second.
Yeah, how quickly things have changed. Dustin hitting Minko directly with an Ipatsu Uda Mangan, and now this dealer Mangan. That's 20,000. That's 28,000 point swing comparing the two player scores.
There's a great hand here. Ricci Pinfu Tanya Sanshoku, your personal favorite Sanshoku.
Absolutely.
On the right. Ugh. You like the mon, and you see the rest of the hand. You just walk by the trash can and throw it there. Across the way, kind of Pinfu hand, 6 so and 7-mon would really help. And on the left, Chun pair, a whole bunch of other. 1, 2, 3, 4. Could go Toy, could even go Chi-Toy with that. And honestly, they're kind of easy pairs. You're supposed to pull in this one. Just go Toy Dash, I believe.
Yeah.
But it may just be a regular hand if you draw that 8-pin.
I'm really curious to see what Minko chooses to do when the first tile comes out.
Well, pull an Anko yourself. No, he's Shunten. That's a huge draw for Dustin. Now, guaranteed Tanyao. Likely Sanshoku.
Yeah, just throws the 5 back. Doesn't even need Summon Chan. Yeah, I mean, there are some draws like you pair up any of the so tiles, and all of a sudden you get Summon Chan in the Pinsu. But just says I like the shapes as they are.
There's Tempai on the left. This is going to be a Ricci. Which weight's going to be taken? It's going to be the 6-9. You have to Chi that, don't you? I'm very surprised Dustin didn't just take the Tempai there.
I think Dustin sees more value in this than just Tanya potential Sanshoku with a Ricci stick. Definitely feels like the hand should be worth more, but after drawing to Tempai.
Tempai is very valuable in this game.
Mm-hmm. Especially because that's your competitor that's declaring the Ricci. If you can shut that hand down with your own, there's a lot of utility in that.
So the 6-9, there are a whole bunch of sixes, 3 of them. The 9 actually only has 1 left, but 4 Outlaw is very good at this point.
Alex Suanko Ishantandao.
Wow. Okay. Now you have to shove that, don't you? The 2 so at least.
Yeah.
And that would have been the deal in.
8 Mondora is a little risky.
That 7 Mondora indicate. Well, I mean, if you get Tempai for Suanko,
Oh,
you shove
it's
it. Oh, well, you made us deal in here. I think you always deal in here, honestly.
Dong.
Yeah, when you have that hand, I think you just always slam that.
and this is not going well for Alex right now, but has a chance to make up for that with a good dealer.
Well, Alex also had a huge amount of buffer space, but there are 3 games left. If the game ended like this would be what, a -40? He has plenty of space. It'd drop into -14. He's not really in any danger even with that.
Pretty good high pie.
Yeah, probably a Tanya or even Ricci Nomi. You'd love to draw the 1 mon for Ricci Dora 1 at least. On the right, couple pairs, bunch of floaters, bit of a messy hand across the way. It's just Junchan. Like, I don't see what else you're even considering with that hand. On the left, I know 6, 7, 8 Sanshku maybe. Yeah, I think that's your best play. Just play efficiently, see what happens.
Yeah, Minko potentially Junchan Sanchoku Dora.
Yeah, like I don't see how you play that hand any other way than just Junchan. And
Ooh.
Alex passes the Chi because he doesn't like all the Otozuka in the hand. Immediately pulls a great Forso there. Now, Ishanten, Ryanman. Looking for 6, 9 pin and 5, 8 so. Of course, the ideal draw is the 6 pin because that guarantees your Tanyo. And I see Hatsu Pon on the left, probably going for Chanta there.
Yakuhai chumped no Dora in that hand.
I'm mildly surprised the 7 pin didn't come out because I wouldn't even mind just playing for Honitsu on top of it.
Yeah, I could hold the 8 so and maybe dream a little bit.
Like now, I'd love to have that Honitsu option. I don't think I'd take the Tempai. But that's going to be a deal in there, so does hit for just the 1 Han. Doesn't get the chance to draw on the other end, but he'll be glad to take that off his direct competition. We're in cell 3. Clara's dealer here has a Pinfu hand, but a couple Penchon in So, which aren't great. 1, 2, 8, 9. The Manju tiles are really good. You just need something to connect to them. They even just kind of hedge towards Onitsu because they don't really see any other route for this hand. On the right, 79 Sanshku looks like the plan. Not too much else in that hand, but even that's a long way off across the way. 2, 3, 4 Sanshku, maybe a 3, 4, 5 Sanshku. Looks pretty good. You have a Dora. Could even just go Dora Tanyao. And considering where Dustin is, calling for Dora Tanyao seems perfectly acceptable. On the left, 6, 7, 8 Sanshku, definitely the play there. I don't really see any other route to value. I might even just call that 8 pin.
And Claire's hand has become very interesting. As Itsu draws, can just turn into Tanyao as well. And after drawing the Dora, it kind of feels like the Tanyao route's probably going to be the play.
There's a whole bunch of Mon tiles now, but they don't really line up very well.
Yeah, this is really a decision point. And
Yeah, I like just going Tanyao with this. You can pull and go. You figure the 2 so is going to come out a lot of the time. Speaking of Dora, there are 2 of them across the way. Oh, just fill. We fill those.
Yeah, so now Ishanten with a lot of tile acceptance. 4-mon would be insane. Or another 5, okay.
Oh, 5 mon would work. Wait, that's not
It is
like ideal,
Tempai.
is
If
it?
you drop the 3.
Yeah, well, it's Senpai if you drop the 8 as well, but it's ugly either way. It's just gonna Dama here waiting on the 7-1.
Yeah, like 7-mon versus what would that be? 3-mon Tuso Shabo?
It'd be, it'd be the 3-5
Yeah, right,
shuffle.
but and of course you get the Tuso as well, but
Yeah.
it's I think Claire's just looking at this saying, all right, people can't use the 7, so 3 of the 9s are
Well,
out,
see,
3 of the
she
8s are
might just.
visible.
I'm kind of surprised she's just hitting the button here.
Tuso comes out. Is this
Again, I feel Claire should be playing for the championship. And this does not suggest you're playing for the championship.
could call the Tuso and have a like 3-sided weight.
Yeah. That's a 4-sided weight. Wait, is it? Hold on.
つも
Yeah, see, she definitely left points at the table here.
Yeah, $2,000 instead of 4,000 with maybe bonuses.
With a chance of or a 4.
I think when Claire passed the Tuso, I thought she might reach you then. Because at that point, you're really not getting that much of an upgrade. But in the end,
Yeah.
Claire does pick up a lot of points and is closer to a positive mark at 30,000.
And wakes up with 2 Dora and a pretty decent hand here. Going for that Ricci, Dora 2, maybe Peiko on the right. Couple of pairs, not much else. Probably going to call for Tanya, Dora 1 across the way. Maybe Itsu in So. Maybe hedge towards Honitsu. And on the left, similarly, maybe hedge towards Itsu in So and maybe Honitsu.
I heard a lot of Honitsu.
Ishanten for dealer here. Claire looking for the 6-0.
I remember in my series against Claire, she also dominated a lot of hands. Just Tempai.
Oh,
not Tempai,
confirms
but
the
Ipeiko.
Peiko.
Door 2.
You should just, cut the 5-7, because even here on the 1-4, you don't even really want to be on the 1-4, but you have a lot of options. You could have argued, oh, well, wow, that is a wide E-shot 10. That's one of those that it would take me a while to figure out everything in it. That I don't think is one of them, though.
Yeah, basically all the lower Monzu.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Mon are all Tempai. And then 5, well, that's one of them for sure. You just reach you the 5 here for sure.
Look what she's reached here, Dama. You mean Pico Door 2 Pinshu is already a Mangan?
Yeah.
Claire is really
Gee.
hoping that she can snipe someone.
Especially Dustin if he's doing this.
Yeah, absolutely. It looks like Dustin will drop it at any second. Claire doesn't want to stop him from dropping it. But if Dustin makes 1 or 2 more calls, like, you can just reach it because he has no choice but to push, right?
Right.
Home.
But hitting Dustin directly would exchange places. Similarly, same for Minko.
Yeah, problem is Minko will use the 8 or the 5, so I don't see Minko dealing in here.
The other thing is, like, if you reach in Sumo, you just get first anyway by sumoing a Hane.
Right. Maybe reading the 5-8 is pretty bad in the wall. And it's not great, but it's not that bad. Oh, there's one of your 5s.
Oh,
This may
no.
come right out, though. I imagine 1 so looks better, though.
Alex holds on for now. Alex is not really the person you want to hit, but I think you have to take it.
I mean, you're fine with that, honestly.
Points are points, but if you're going for a first or a second, I'd love to knock one of these 40,000 point players down.
I mean, ideally, you just sumo it yourself and you don't have to worry about it. That's why I like Ricci. Imagine Korek advocating for Ricci. Scandalous, I know.
Dustin now Ishantan for Chinitsu.
And that 7 so is very loose for Minko. May come right out.
4
There's the 5, and there's the win. Pinfu Ipeiko Dora 2. Claire gets a huge boost here. And now, if you're Alex, you have to start at least thinking about the situation. Because even with a really bad result here, you're not like in the danger zone because you're at plus 26, not minus 26. But that may be where you are after this game.
Yeah.
Dealer here is Claire again. Has possible 1, 2, 3 Sun Scoop, but you have 2 Dora, so may not even want to go that route. On the right, 4, 5, 6 Sanchiku looks like the play there for Menko. That seems like the easiest way to overtake because Dustin now is a full 8,000 above. Across the way, Dustin has the Shaw can just call and go there. That's probably the fastest hand. On the left would be the fastest hand, but I feel Alex needs some value here.
I mean, at this point, you're not catching anybody, and it's really hard to drag someone below 30,000. So Alex might shift his game just playing for any
Boom.
points again.
Right. Well, there's our Shaw call by Dustin. There's a nice 8 fill. Could go for Chanta Sanshoku even there for Alex.
Catching the door draw as well currently. Still a Chanta shape.
I don't think you can call this. I mean, you can if you're just brute
Gee.
forcing the Sanshoku, and I guess that's going to be the play. I don't really like this call, though.
Boom.
I mean, it does confirm both Dora, but it looks like...
Yeah, it
Come.
also forces Minko into... Oh, okay. Well, now some stuff has happened.
Yeah, now Claire is a Mangan.
Before you added another Dora because of the con. I have no idea why Dustin is conning.
I mean, it's Dustin.
And we have Ishanten on the left now. That's an
Gee.
easy chi. You have to cut the 7-8 now.
Cons have been favoring Dustin
And now you have
quite a bit
Tempai on
recently.
3-6 there on the right. Oh, well,
Boom.
there's the deal in. Well, that's why you con, apparently, is to get the extra foo.
Yeah, extra 300. Let's go. That was
So we're now in all last. Minko has the East, can just pull and go, honestly. Potential 5, 6, 7
Boom.
Sanchiku later, but unlikely. And there's the pull, and there's the go. On the right, I don't know, kind of a regular hand, but you have an extra pair you're going to have to get rid of. Across the way, maybe a 789 Sanchiku, but it's not really there yet. On the left, Nupeko would be nice if you can draw that 7 pin, but you may just take whatever you can get if you're Claire. The thing is, for Claire, she's looking to overtake Minko, so needs some sort of value here. May end up actually just cutting the 9 pin, 9 pin.
Yeah, Tanya shift is... Oh, well now you've got a pair and have a Diamond for Miko. But yeah, Tanya shift for Claire would be a route to value. What is the gap here? Is 4,000 flat?
Well, now you're almost
Gee.
incentivized to do it, but there goes the Tempai for dealer here. Waiting on 4, 7 1, and that 7 is very loose for Dustin. I imagine will come on, and that'd be a direct hit if it does.
Richie
That is
Nomi?
Tempai. You can just Reachy it. And if someone has the... Well, it doesn't matter. And you're glad you didn't Reachy now.
Yeah, Claire also agreed with the 9 cut eventually.
Yeah, it just took a little longer to get there. Well, we have Sunkon in 2 suits, 1, 3, 5, 7 in Mon, 3, 5, 7, 9 in Pin, and a perfect 3, 3, 4, 5, 6 in So.
Boom.
So a lot of ways for this hand for Minko to fill out. You see the Chun pair across the way because it's the only Chun in the wall left. Then we see a Hatsu call on the right as Duchess wants to end this. And ooh, and now Alex actually has some paths to value. And now Ishanten for
Boom.
Minko. And there's our pawn across the way. The hand's getting a little closer now. And we even gotten to Claire there on the left, who's technically Ishanten. No value, though.
Yeah, this time it's a little harder.
The problem is I don't really see any value upgrades. Maybe eventually 5, 6, 7 Sanchiku, but eh.
Yeah, I mean,
I imagine this will be the 9 pin. Yeah, there it goes.
Just could technically have called that, but...
Well, there's your Tempai. I think you just slam it. Like, you don't have any other play. It's not great, but, like, what else are you going to do, Claire? Just hit the button.
Urasan?
Reach, Sumo, or a 1 is good enough.
Boom.
Tempai waiting on 6 pin. Dealer waiting on the 6 pin. It is Nakasuji, so you may see it come out from Dustin if he tries to play defense against this.
Sumo.
Oh, here's the Sumo.
Oh, just Sumo. Reach Sumo. Ura will overtake second. Nope. But the big winner here is Dustin, 35.7. Minko looked like he was off to a plus 40 or plus 50. It's a very strong second at 17.3. Claire misses the Ura, so only gets the plus 9.7. And that is a bit of a hit for Alex. Will drop around minus 35. And yeah, that's where it is. Minko not quite out of demotion, but in a much better position now than was a little bit ago. Claire kind of stays where she is. Dustin is now pretty safe. And Alex is now within striking range of Lucas and me. And of course, that table will have 2 games on Wednesday, and this table will have more games tomorrow.
Yeah, they may be playing 1 or 2 games tomorrow. But I think they're only just playing the one for tonight.
Yeah, I don't see another game having been queued up, and it's obviously been 5 minutes since that game ended. So I imagine they'll be playing the rest of this tomorrow. And with that, I think we are probably going to wrap it up here.
Yep, we've covered quite a bit. We should, of course, take a look at the results from the games that did finish up, because there were quite a few of them, and some really notable results in B2 that I'm quite interested in checking out. Let's take a look at.
Well, first, let's talk about that B1 series we're looking at a little bit ago. Then another game, and it was Greg in first with 33.1, Julian 20.1, Stanley minus 20.4, Jay minus 32.8. So Greg definitely getting the best of Jay, and that may end up kicking Jay down to B2 next season. They have one more game, I believe.
Yeah, and let me quickly pull up the standings just so I can see what that situation looks like now. And got Jay in that demotion zone, but now there's a big gap between that fourth relegation spot and the safety zone. So we'll have to wait and see how Joshua and Damien fare to see what the safe zone is going to be. But Greg definitely
Yeah,
looks to
because I could,
be.
Irie could drop, Damien could drop, Eric could drop. But at this point, it looks like Greg is basically out of range
Yeah,
of
with
Jay.
1 game to play. And Stanley's still relatively, yeah, Stanley's safe. And Julian actually looking quite strong to finish with enough points to confirm a promotion. As long as this game goes about average for Julian, looks to be pretty safe.
Yeah, in B2, there were a couple of games. The first one, Tommy got a big first at 40.3, Josh in second with 26.5, Kayla minus 25.1, and Kevin with a minus 41.7. And they did play another game, and Kevin comes back and gets 22.3 first place out of that one. Josh with 11.5, Tommy 1.9, and Kayla takes the brunt of it at minus 35.7.
Yeah, Kayla's been bouncing up and down close to that promotion zone. We currently see her in 7th place at plus 62.9. Really, the goal for these players is get to 100 points. I think they're playing one more game. And yeah,
All
that's
right,
all caught
then.
up.
So, yeah, that's about all we have here. Came in here to bail Nathaniel out because he was supposed to have a different co-commentator who didn't show. So I had to put up with me for a while. Hopefully, it was tolerable anyway.
More than tolerable. You saved my voice. I'll be able to speak tomorrow.
All right, then. This is when we do the obligatory plugs. We would normally talk about the Philadelphia tournament, but that not only filled up, it expanded and filled up on the wait list. Apparently, the 80 original slots got filled in less than an hour. So that's what you call an in demand tournament, I'd say.
Yeah, and I imagine a lot of the East Coast tournaments are going to be in heavy demand. Seattle tournament, of course, almost completely filled, and that's on the completely other side of the country, in a less dense area, but a lot of players willing to travel out to these WRC qualifying tournaments.
All right. And as you can see up there on the screen, we have our socials, Twitter, YouTube, and of course, you can check out the website. You can sign up for next season. You can technically hope to get in next season. It's unlikely, but if you do manage to fill out a table in the bottom division, you can sneak in next season if there is a spot. So, otherwise, if you sign up, you can get in for the spring season, which will be in 3 months from, or almost 4 months at this point. So with that, this is Korak along with Nathaniel for the American Reach Mahjong League. Have a good night, everyone.